All right, guys, good morning. This is Drake with the RPG Construct. We are going to be doing volume 2 of our ongoing mini campaign in the what I'm calling the Infinity series of our Harbinger playtest. Unfortunately, we had a cast member basically call in sick today. So, Harry, hopefully you're feeling better. And we are just kind of going to get right into this, and I'm going to turn it over to Philip to give us kind of a recap of Volume 1. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. These guys did a great job. So, Philip, if you please.
Hey guys, good morning for me. And so last time in Harbinger Infinity series, we were traveling to the Erys Moon Station, which is the producer of all known spectre technology. While we were traveling there, two of the people as assets and myself as a company representative, the ship was hit and we crash landed on the surface of the moon. The assets escaped from my point of view, and I had to follow them as we trudged across the moon, eventually finding a strange exhaust port that had some red astra, which we soon discovered was also infused with human DNA. After nearly getting captured near the exhaust port, we jumped in, ended up in a garbage chute, and were quickly captured. From there, we kind of found out much more about this Spectre technology program, and one of our companions who was an asset, we had to witness becoming a Spectre in this just horrendous, magnificent scene of human digitization. And I think that's about where we left off.
Yeah. The only thing that I would add to that is there are two types of assets when it comes to Spectre technology. There are assets and there are prime assets. They are separated by collar colors. Yellow are just assets. They learn that those are just kind of the spare parts. The red is the actual brains that are going to become specters. And the characters played by Lionel and by Leo here had the yellow collars on. James is the one that was kind of, for lack of a better phrase, digitized. And yeah, the end of that one was pretty intense. Again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. So that is where we pick up, guys. All four of your characters sitting as you kind of blink, that blinding blue light has kind of faded away and your eyes have kind of adjusted. It just takes a few moments, maybe 30 seconds. And as you blink, you begin to see James's body motionless. The technicians that were kind of skittering around the table had disconnected the wires from the body to this glowing blue cube. It's pretty small. You can hold it with both hands. As I said, it's about the size of 4 like Rubik's cubes. You don't hear anything else though. You heard James's voice at the end. And as these technicians, kind of finish unhooking everything, the director again speaks. She walks over to the table, puts her hand on James, and she says, "And what do you think of that?"
I don't know. It's terrible.
Terrible? That was magnificent. How could you say that granting immortality is terrible?
You granted him limbo, not immortality. It's not living there.
Oh, this is just the first stage. This is the initial process. There are many stages. It takes a very long time. But this is where the consciousness is transferred. It has some side effects, but it is what is required to make this happen, to make this technology. Lionel and Leo, what would you guys say to her?
Nardo is just standing there stock still. He's just stunned. It's still kind of just sinking in for him. Probably more so because of the fact that he was a gatherer. He would gather the assets, and he'd been doing it for years. But to actually see the fate of those, the countless, he's probably lost count at this time of how many. He just is clenching his fists at his side, and he doesn't know what to do. He solves his problems by hitting it, but he knows he can't do that here. He looks at her and he just says, "I've thought it for a while, but you're fucking monsters." And you can just see the rage on his face. The color is just flushing his cheeks, and he starts to move forward ever so, like he starts to move toward her. And I'm trying to remember, I think there were guards with us, right?
Yes, there were probably 2 or 3 guards with you.
And they immediately just grab Nardo and pull him back. And he kind of pulls a little bit, and then it just as quickly, the fight just totally leaves him. His shoulders just slump, and he just looks down.
Okay. And Leo,
Rando is kind of thinking of everything that's happened. He's wounded. The crash really did a number on him getting out of that pod, and he's thinking about his mother and his family and how this is what they do. This is what they understand, or what he understood his family worked on to reach this point, and he's just looking confused, and he goes, this is not immortality. You're taking up, and you're deciding their fate for what? For money? What? That's not right on any level without consent of some form. Why? I can't believe I've been part of this, or I even, do I still have the necklace on me?
Yes.
I don't, and I rip it off like I don't. This is not right. You won't have me. You won't fucking have me.
All of you have played your parts. One dealt with the technology. One gathered the assets. And another one made sure that the assets arrived. All of you were and are part of what has happened here. All of you have added to what we do, and we sincerely thank you for that. Don't ever think that I am this evil creature. As you said, I'm not a monster. I can't do this by myself. I have tens of thousands of people working. They do it. I don't force them to. I didn't force any of you to do this. I didn't force you to gather assets. I didn't force you to work on this technology. I didn't force your family to help me develop it. None of it. And all of you were compensated well for your services. You call me a monster. But who's worse, the monster or the ones who help the monster be that way?
Rhetoric won't save your soul.
I think it's our souls that need to be saved. She's right.
She walks to the other side of the table, just kind of, as you all are just kind of standing or sitting by those chairs, and you hear the clicking of her heels as she walks by. And she stops at Harry's character, the Doctor Andor. This whole time he sat with his kind of head in his hands, just shaking his head. And she looks at him and says, "It seems like this experience has taken a toll on this one. Perhaps we can help him with that." And she just kind of motions towards one of the guards, just grab him. And Andor is escorted out, leaving the three of you there. And she says, "I hope you have heard what I've said, and I hope that in time you'll understand the importance of what we do here. For now, I think all of you need some time. We will take you back to your holding cell. Perhaps tomorrow we can speak again." And with that, all of you are told to stand up and follow the guards in front and behind you. But right before you leave the room, you see the technicians help James up. You see this body sit up. And again, you just see it for a moment. His eyes look kind of glazed over, and he's kind of having trouble walking. But the technicians help him. And he slowly puts one foot in front of the other. As you guys leave, that's the last thing that you see. You are walked down this hallway and put back into that same cell as kind of the bars that are just basically lasers. Just one guard is posted outside, and the three of you sit in that room alone. What would you say to each other?
Andra, what did you mean about being right? She being right?
This is our fault. We're the ones that contribute. If she was alone, she couldn't make this work. But it's us, the workers, that mindlessly follow, complete our tasks. It's our fault. We did this. We did this to all of them. We did this to the ones we love.
But did you know this? Did you know this was the end result? I didn't.
Cogs in a wheel. We're all just cogs in her wheel.
Yeah, you're giving yourself blame because you knew it. Is that right? Tell me, did you know this? Did you know this was the end result?
How could I know this was the end result? But isn't it enough to work and not know what you're working for? Is it any worse?
I don't fucking know the answer. I don't know.
Nardo is just kind of back against the wall, is just hands on his head. He's listening to them talk, and he doesn't even raise his head. He's just like, "Rando, she didn't know. They fooled everybody. It doesn't do any good to blame ourselves. We have to think about what we're going to do now." And this is where Nardo is really just kind of lost. He's a soldier. He's used to taking orders, not giving them. And now with Andor gone, one of the group that he kind of looked to, he's smart. He could figure this out. And that's when he would raise his head up and he'd look at Andra and Rando and say, you'd see his eyes, they're just red from tears he's holding back. And he's like, "We have to figure something out. We have to do it quick." James is done. There's nothing we can do for him.
You saw that? He was walking. What the fuck was that about?
That was a shell. That wasn't James. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that wasn't James. His eyes were dead. Didn't you see him? And that's where Nardo is just really confused, because he kind of knew about a little bit about the spectre technology, but not a lot. But to see James's physical body move, that just really kind of shook him. And that is something that's just not right there, even beyond this. So he would just kind of rise up a little bit off the wall, and he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck that shit was. And then he would realize there's the guard out there, and his voice would go quiet a bit. But we got to figure something out.
These two don't. You guys don't have necklaces, right?
I don't.
Yeah, Nardo still has his collar on.
Got it. Okay. What do you? I get closer to Nardo and lower my voice. What are you thinking we do? What do you think we're just gonna bust out of here? I mean, look at them. This is a whole fucking operation, man. This is not. We can't just go guns blazing. We don't have anything. We're toast, man. We're done. And I sit back down and just sit against the wall. Hold my head.
Andre, give me a perception check, please.
Six. Andra is just like completely out of it, not paying attention really to anything, just like kind of staring off into space, just like you can tell she's still in shock and would definitely be in no position to notice anything.
Okay. But you do notice one thing, even though it's not that clear. You're pretty sure that you've seen the guard at some point in your time on the station, in your years on the station. As you've grown up here, you pretty much have at least seen most of the regular workers. Most of the security detail, these people don't really change. They're paid very well to do very little. And you think you've seen him before, but that's about all you remember. Leo, I need you to make a perception check for me too.
All right. 13. Let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, I think 13 is right.
Okay. With that, you notice that there are several panels, two to be exact, on the right wall of this cell. Your technical knowledge tells you that it's some type of, some type of power grid. You're not sure what. You're not sure exactly what the design is or anything, but you have been involved in the creation of places like this as well. So just keep that in mind. You would realize this as you're just kind of looking around, just kind of taking it all in. And finally, Nardo, why don't you give me a perception check?
Nine.
You guys are rolling high this morning.
It's Sunday.
You sit there and you don't really notice anything. From your perspective, you see bars, you're just waiting for some direction. There's really nothing that,
right.
Yeah.
For Nardo, once Rando makes that really like that comment that's just about giving up, our fate is sealed. Nardo just kind of puts his head back into his hands, and he's just that's when he starts to just slowly kind of weep. His shoulders just kind of shaking a bit, and the tears running down his face. He realizes he'll never see Sam again.
Andra, recognizing the guard maybe from her youth, not really thinking about him, but that recognition reminds her of someone in her past who is now gone, and her father, who he has gone into the Spectre program, and she's reminded of him, and she's just starting to tense up, and she's just really getting muscles pumping, and she just starts punching the wall, knowing that she has now been a part of, or realizing what has happened to her father now.
And when you start doing this, the guard turns towards you, and for a second he just watches, and he says something to you, although his tone isn't how to say it isn't like a menacing tone. It's, hey, just hang in. You don't need to be hurting yourself. Stop hitting the damn wall. You don't need to do that. Just relax. Calm down in there. But he says it in almost a caring manner, almost something that like a friend would say. He isn't your typical, stop doing that type of a thing. How would you respond, Philip?
That would definitely kind of puzzle me, so I'll take a closer look at him. Do you think I could figure out exactly where I remember him from?
Give me a history check.
7.
No, you don't. You don't.
Do I know you?
He just kind of puts his head down and nods, and you can actually see him blush a little bit. Once, a long time ago. We've met before.
Well, how can we calm down in this situation? We're all dead.
And he looks at you, and then he looks at the others. He said, no, those two are dead. You'll be taken for reconditioning, and you won't remember any of this.
What? Why wouldn't I this? I need to know this. This. How were you?
And with that, he just this very kind of understanding tone. He said, I understand. I get it. There's nothing any of us can do about it. We do what we're told. We're not the ones that actually pull the trigger. My job's just to keep you here. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, but we all have families. And unfortunately, most of us don't have a choice, as I'm sure the three of you realize. None of you had choices either. You didn't know. Once you get here, once you get to the moon, and when you see what they do, where are you going to go? They're not going to let you leave. They're not going to let me leave. If I'm going to be the devil's messenger, it's either me or them. And I plan on staying alive.
Randall kind of looks up at that and looks at the man. How many other devils are that think like you?
Well, I'm sure up until a little while ago, all of you did too. So I can't speak for other people, but anyone who's been here for any length of time probably shares my sentiment. I'd love to help you. I'd love to have this all stop. But what can one person do?
Look, man. And he looks at Nardo, who he's still crying in the corner, right? Correct, Nardo? He says, look, and look at Andra. I stand up. Look, I've been a coward. Of course, you know that. I've been a coward all my life. But this is the end, man. This is the end. And this is the first glimmer of hope I've seen. So you need to get us the fuck out of here. And we need to stop this. You get me to a comm link of some sort. And we'll spread this all over the goddamn world. And we'll let everybody know what's going on here. Can you do that?
I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, your life's worth nothing anyways, right? We're done. This is it. This is it for you. You know you're not going anywhere. You make one mistake one day and you'll become one of those things. There's nothing left.
That's why I won't make a mistake.
Let's stop being cowards today, man. Can I do persuasion or something?
Sure.
I'm done being a coward. And I look at Andra, reminding the time that she told me to get some balls. I rolled a natural 20, man. You want to see it? This is nuts.
You see, he turns to you with that exceptional roll. And he kind of puts his head down and he lifts his head up and he looks, he's very close to the bars. And Leo, you notice that his eyes seem to be welling up. Around his eyes begin to get a little bit red. And he says, "You're right. Maybe I am a coward. You're right." And he just keeps nodding. But I don't know. I think I'd rather be a coward that's alive versus anything else. But you're right. And what you're saying makes sense. But I can't let you out of here. I can't just flip the switch over there and all of a sudden let you out. I just can't do that. Do you understand me? And he looks up towards the kind of top right of your cell, and there's a camera. And he looks at it, and then he looks at you, and he looks back up at the camera. I am with this company 100%. I'm sorry, but I have a job to do. And he turns around very, very quickly and walks to the side of the cell where kind of he was stationed before. And he kind of clicks his heels together and stands up straight. I'm sorry. What would you guys do from there?
So as Nardo was listening to Rando talk to this guard, he's looking down, and through bleary, tear-filled eyes, he sees dangling from a delicate chain around his neck, the small locket. This locket that was given to him by his daughter just before he took her place to be taken. And he sees that, and it steals his resolve. He looks up, not even wiping the tears away. As the guard walks off, he stands up quietly and walks over towards Andra, and he just grabs her right around the neck in a full-on Nelson from behind in like a bare naked choke. And he says, "You're right. Our fates may be sealed, but I'll decide how I'm going out. And this bitch is going to die. She's going to be reconditioned." And he just starts to, and then he whisper in her ears, "Just play with this." And he just pulls her back. And is there a way that he could pull her back so he's not in the camera, but so that the guard would kind of know what's going on?
You could probably hide yourself, but not both of you. You could get right under that camera. And like one of you could hide, but one other person you couldn't hide both of you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Nardo is probably just hoping that Rando would do something with that camera, but he's going to grab her and he's just going to, I mean, he's going to put some pressure on it. So her face is going to start to go red. And I'm just rolling the dice and hoping that I sell this to the guard.
Okay.
Andre will be, get off me, you hunk piece of shit, and just like kicking her legs up a lot, making it look like she's trying to put up a fight, but not really, not really putting up a fight.
And hearing this woman screaming, the guard comes in, hey, stop that. And then
he's hurting me.
Nardo's like, fuck you. She'll be dead before any helps her. And he would just kind of torque it a little bit more so as she's like in mid saying a word, he'd be like,
and you see this guard kind of aim this kind of basically it's think of like an M16 type of a weapon, just kind of aims at, I'm telling you for the last time, put her down. And he actually puts the tip of the gun through the bars, through the light bars. He says, this is your final warning. And he actually shoots. And what comes out is actually it looks kind of like a laser pulse. It's a red shell. And it just kind of pew. Think like pew pew, right? Little pew pew pew. But he just gets once. And it goes several feet away. He said, that was a warning. Put her down.
Do I have time to do something?
What would you like to do?
I want to lunge and grab the gun.
Give me either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Oh, come on. Give me a 20, buddy.
I think we need to verify these dice on Leo today.
I know, right? That's a 4. With a 5. It's a 5.
So you lunge at this thing, and you're just not fast enough. The guy pulls his gun back, and he looks at you, and he's like, really? And he just takes half a step back.
I'm going to stand in the way. You're going to have to go through me then. You're not getting them. And letting him continue to kill her. She's dying today.
Okay. Hold on. I need to get a dice because I was unprepared for playing today, and I didn't pull out my dice. Because why do we need dice?
We all get +5, right?
It's all good, Drake. When you come and do that perception roll, I realized I didn't have any of my dice out. I'm like, oh, shit.
We'll give you we'll do the purple. So... all right. He looks at you for this quick moment, Leo, and he's aiming directly at your chest. And he says, "This is your final warning. Move." And when you don't, he aims and fires point blank into your left shoulder. You taking 5 force damage as you, as I imagine you just kind of spin around and fall down.
Yep.
And he says, damn it. And he kind of reaches his arm over to the side of the cell outside, and he flips the switch, and those bars, and he starts walking towards you two guys.
That I immediately throw Andra into him once he steps into the cell. And I'm running right behind her.
Give me an athletics roll.
Okay. The way I'm rolling this morning, I'm not feeling too confident about this. But oh.
Not 20.
No.
Not 1.
Not 1.
Oh man.
So, you know what, Lionel? You narrate this epic fail as you grab Andra and try to throw her at this. What exactly happens?
Right. So the mistake that Nardo makes is he doesn't tell Andra what he's doing. So as he shoves her forward, she actually is still kind of leaning into him, hamming up this choking scene. And so he shoves her, and actually she gets in his way. And as he lunges behind what he's thinking behind her, with her as the distraction, he actually trips over her. And it's this tumble, and he rolls at the feet of this guard. But like in the most awkward of positions, like it's not like he rolls and so he's facing up like in a guard position. He's like literally like almost like back down. I mean, face down on the floor. Yeah, I love that roll. That was awesome.
And so, you're both. I imagine you're both basically at this guy's feet, and you're both there. Just, I mean, basically head at this guy's feet, and you both look up, and he's looking down at you, pointed with this gun, and he almost smiles at you, Nardo, and he's like, that was your plan. That worked out for you well. Now get up and get back over there. You, the other side, pointing at Andra. And Leo, tell me this: are you down? Are you unconscious?
Yeah, I had 4 hit points last time, so yeah, I'm a -1 if that matters.
It's fine. What would you two do?
Andra's going to like try to like kneel up and like almost stumble. She wants to like feign a stumble towards him, and then just with both hands together, wham, get him right in the nutsack if she can.
And I wonder if I could, so mechanically it would be the help action, but I wonder if one of the things I could do is I would just lunge out, like kind of lunge out and just try to grab his legs.
Sure. Give me either an athletics or an acrobatics, Philip, with advantage, because you got help.
They are both 11.
You get him. As you're falling forward, you get him, but you don't get him with your hands. You again trip over Nardo, but instead of your hands hitting, your head just bams right in the nuts. Your face is in his crotch, just, and he's like, oh, and
Is this where I remember him? Oh, I know.
No, that's not. But but Andra's face is squarely smashing his nutsack as you trip over Nardo. So he is briefly stunned for a moment. Any next action towards him will have advantage. So what would you guys like to do? Nardo, you'd probably be the next one available.
Yeah. So Nardo would try to just bring him down the rest of the way, like full on, like finish the tackle, bring him to the floor.
Okay.
And so I have advantage on this?
I guess give me a grapple.
Yeah. These dice do want to kill us. But I got a 15.
No, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough because he rolled a 12. So what does this look like? Do you just tackle his legs? Do you just grab his upper body? What does this look like? How does he do it?
If anyone has ever seen wrestling or jiu-jitsu or anything like that, so I got him just below the knees, and what I do is I just kind of mount up onto him, and his gun is still free. And it's at that point that Nardo kind of turns his head towards Leo, who I don't know, Rando, and he's like, grab his fucking gun, as he's trying to just kind of hold this guy pinned to the floor. And he's kind of bringing his weight down. So he's kind of like posting up and bringing his shoulder down on this guy to help pin him to the floor. But he's hoping Rando will get over and get that gun from this guy, because we have, he's assuming we have limited time because he knows the camera's there.
Rando's knocked out, right?
And as you do this, Rando is motionless on the ground. He's unconscious with this kind of steaming wound in his shoulder. And you're like, go pick up the gun. Silence. Imagine like all the music or tension in this scene goes silent. And you just kind of realize, oh, he's unconscious.
Yeah. And that's when that's when it realizes he was so in the moment, with his plan, that he hadn't even, he saw Rando kind of fall back, but he thought it was just from the blow, because it was grazing. So that's when it sets in for him. He's looking and he sees him and he's like, fuck. And he says, Andra, get the fucking gun.
Andra's going to pick up the gun, and the first shot she wants to fire is at the camera.
Okay. You can do that. So you grab this kind of it's going to be your standard rifle. We're going to do that for purposes, but it's going to have the energy cell mod. So it's going to shoot bolts of basically red Astra, and it's going to be force damage instead of piercing damage. So you can absolutely shoot that camera and just whoosh.
Sweet. Do I need to roll?
No.
Perfect.
No, it isn't moving. You're fine. You guys don't need to do any more rolls today. And so Nardo has him basically grappled. You have the gun now. I'm assuming pointed towards him now after that camera.
Yes.
And Leonardo is unconscious. So, what else would you guys like to do next?
Get on the fucking bed.
Nardo, would you let him up?
How are you holding the gun, Andra? Do you look like you know what you're doing with that thing? Do you look like you're gonna? Basically, what I'm asking: do you look like you're gonna shoot this guy dead if he tries to fucking do anything? Because if Nardo doesn't see that killer in your eye, then
I would say Andra is way more pissed off than you've ever seen her.
Perfect.
And is definitely willing to kill.
Right. So seeing that, there'll be a nice smile on Nardo's face, and he will move off of the guy to let him get up. But they would be like one of those things, Drake, where we would both kind of get up at, kind of just looking at each other, getting up slowly, and looking for him to move over towards the cot or bed.
Okay.
Nardo, take this fucking gun before I kill him.
Yeah, so he would definitely take the gun from you and say, see what you could do for Rando. And we see his chest still moving, like he wasn't killed, right?
No, he's just unconscious. He didn't go to like -10 or anything. He's just unconscious.
Perfect.
I mean, there's really nothing. We're kind of out of combat at this point, so I'm not going to have him make a death save, so you guys can see what you can do. But the one thing he does as he sits down, he kind of that fire that he had in his eyes before is kind of just gone, and he's like, "Okay, you got me. Now what? You think they didn't see that on the camera? What are you going to do now?"
I think we should try to. Is Leonardo stabilized?
No.
Okay. Sorry. I think first I got to try to stabilize this guy.
Whatever you got to do.
And that is a 21.
Go for it. Absolutely. And would you do anything to try to heal him, or?
No, that was just nope.
Okay.
No healing.
So you are stabilized.
Is Rando a big guy? Could Andra pull him out of the cell? Or maybe one of the things, maybe I could help. She and I could pull him out of the cell. I could hold the gun on the guard as we kind of like do one of those, drag him out of the cell, and then activate the bars again.
Sure. If you guys want to do that, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a short guy. I'm not super huge.
Yeah. And then once we get him out, Nardo's going to immediately jump into action. He's going to like fireman carry him over the shoulder, or field carry him, and he's going to look at Andra and say, "All right, get us out of this fucking place. Where do we go?"
Fuck. I think, I don't know. There's some waste disposal systems and some ductwork. They go everywhere. We got to get the fuck out of here. And I'm looking around for some vents, basically that might fit us.
You see on the floor, approximately every 30 feet, a grate that's probably 3 feet by 3 foot square. You know from your time on this station that this leads down to what you just referred to as the waste disposal system. It's basically the sewers of this station where all the waste goes. You also, about every 30 feet, you see a vent opening, and that's for the ventilation system that runs throughout the entire, they both run throughout the entire thing.
Guys, up there, quick.
And as you start kind of going down, you do notice in the hall there are several more cameras, probably every 50 feet. And as you get right under one of these ventilation grates, you hear just this woo woo woo. This just basically silent. This basically siren, like the ring 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 ring. Basically, someone knows that you're there. And when that happens, that guard calls you, Andra. He says, "Hey, come here."
We can't deal with you right now.
Don't take the ventilation system. They can flush that. If you're really trying to get out of here, go down. Use the tunnels. You know what I'm talking about. We used to play in there as kids. And when he says that, this memory comes back. This guy's name is David. When you were a small child, probably 6 or 8 years old, you and him used to play in the tunnels. It was gross, but you were kids and it was fun. You would come back to he too was one of those children that was educated and kind of brainwashed into this company. You two grew up together. It's been years since you've seen him, probably 10 years. But him telling you that memory just brings it all back. And he just kind of breathing heavy. He's like, "Just get out of here. But don't take the ventilation system. They can flush that. You'll be dead in 5 minutes. Go down. They have nothing down there. You know it. You know the way. We spent years down there."
Shit. David. Oh, shit. Guys, he's right. Go down there. David, come with us.
He just shakes his head. He's like, "No, just get to the docks. That's the only place that you're going to get out of here. Just get to the docks. You'll be able to get something there to get you out of this place. Just be safe. Jesus Christ. Can't believe I'm saying this."
Right. So while that conversation is happening, Nardo is systematically shooting out the nearer cameras. And another thing he would do is he would maybe rip a vent. He would set Rando down, and he would rip one of the vents off to make it look like they entered into one of the vents. And then he would go to the grate that leads to the sewer and try to pull it up off.
Okay. And you can do so. You just kind of lift it up. Now, Andra, would you just? I mean, he basically just takes a few steps back when you say come, and he's like, "No, I can't." And he goes back to that bed and just sits. He's like,
"What are they going to do to you?"
"I'm a coward, remember?"
"Andra, he'll be fine." And Nardo would interrupt and say, "It's better for him. We overpowered him. He just was trying to help you. He'll be fine."
They don't take kindly to mistakes around here.
And that's the thing. Nardo probably knows he's probably not going to be fine, but he's trying to convince Andra otherwise. And he's like, "We got to go." And how far down is it? Like, could I lower Rando down there?
Think like ductwork.
Yep.
And you see it go down probably 5 feet, and then you see like a 45-degree angle down. That's all that you can see. It's silver. It's your typical just heavy ductwork.
Yeah. So Rando's going to have a slide because I'm going to lower him down and let him go.
Oh, okay.
And then
what,
I would be right behind him.
okay. And Andra.
David, come on. We can go right now. Why won't you come? Save yourself.
You only have a few minutes. Go down there, get to the docks. I'll be fine. Just go.
Fuck this. And she just goes and jumps down. Shit.
And the three, I imagine within a few seconds, all three of you go down this grate. But having left the grate on the floor off as well, it's pretty obvious, either you went up or down. And as you guys slide, it's just because you'll hit these kind of 45-degree drops and just kind of, slam and bang and kind of roll through until all of you free fall for about 15 feet. And it's just, and then whoosh. And as you come up and your heads come above this liquid that you've fallen into, you realize it's very low light, very dimly lit. But this is fetid, disgusting refuse. It's red. And this liquid is kind of thicker than water. It's viscous. It's but there are things in here that you just can't identify. There's pieces of food, there's trash, there's like plastics, there's metal pieces. And several feet away, Nardo, you think that you actually see an arm floating. Like a torn off arm. And this tunnel is probably 10 feet wide and probably, as far as you can see, probably 50 or 60 feet, but you can barely make it out. But the stench is just overwhelming. It smells like rotten meat. It burns your nostrils. And
Right.
You can't touch the bottom of this.
So I'm treading water.
Yes, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot thicker than water.
Okay. So immediately, did the gun we got from the guard, did it have like a sling strap or anything?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So he'll just throw that over his shoulder. The first thing he's thinking is he's looking for Rando because, and he's gonna maybe feel around to try to find him and pull him up, his head up out of this viscous sewerage, and that's what he'll do initially.
And you can do so. You can absolutely do it. And he is there and said the sides are on that 45-degree kind of angle. But where you are in the center of this thing, you can see as there's, again, every about 30 feet, there's this kind of opening that, and every once in a while you'll hear a splash. And it just kind of echoes throughout these tunnels. This is still metal. This is still thick metal. And it's shiny. It's steel. It's warmer down here than in the rest of the cells that you have been in. But you guys are basically treading water in this red viscous fluid. So what would Andra say or do?
Guys, just or did you find Rando?
Yes, he did.
Perfect. All right, we just gotta make our way through this. Don't think about it. It's just water, guys. It's just water. Keep going. Can you pull him along, Nardo?
Yeah. So Nardo would just kind of cut his chin up under, and he would just kind of side stroke. Is there a chance? So it's shallower towards the edges? You said.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Nardo would say, "We got to get to the edges so we don't have to swim. I can drag him along for a while, but it's gonna. I wouldn't be able to do it for long."
Shit, we gotta find somewhere to rest up. Try to wake Rando up. Oh man. Yeah, let's get to the edge.
And as you do, you do feel the bottom under your feet, but it's slippery. It's like it's coated in some slime, or this liquid is just reducing friction. But so you really, it's kind of it'd be considered kind of like difficult terrain, trying to get up here. But you could do it with a little bit of effort. And as you get up there, you just kind of take it all in. And again, about every 30 feet or so in these tunnels, you see a ladder on the opposite side of where you guys are. And next to, and you can only see about two of them from your perspective right now. But Andre, you remember that these ladders go up into various areas of the thing, that these tunnels have these big holding areas, and then the pipe goes down underneath. You couldn't get through the entire thing under here, but there's these long tunnels that house this, and then there's a pipe at the end of all of them that take them into the next chamber, always fed by gravity. You know, there is a central kind of composting furnace, and if you go through all of these pipes, you will end up at the furnace and be incinerated. You've heard stories about people who've done that. But like I said, each about every 30 feet, you can see a ladder that goes up to a different area.
I didn't close the fucking grate, so they're gonna know we're down here or up in the ventilation. So I guess either we go to the furthest or we go to the closest. Either way, let me see if I can slap some sense into Rando here first, and I'll use revitalize on him. But Andra is looking pretty ragged. So that is Astrofade of 1, and you gain 1d6.
Okay. Roll for that.
Yeah. 1. Awesome.
So he comes to, his eyes open. And what would be the first thing that he says, Rando? You're muted.
Shit. Where are we? What is that smell? Where are we? Where's the guy? Did we get him?
Shit. You chose a hell of a time to grow a pair. Man, one shot and you pass out immediately.
You crashed that ship, man. Or you know you crashed that ship. You fucked that up. So I'm hurting because of you, right?
You know that wasn't me.
All right, give me a couple seconds. I'm gonna get some blue Astra and try to use one of the spheres to heal myself.
Okay.
So 1d8. Actually, I'm gonna use 3 if possible. You guys give me that's a 1-8, a 4, and a 4. See what.
So yeah, I'm imagining that takes a few minutes as you're doing that, but you can absolutely do it.
Yeah, Nardo would be kind of just nervously, he'd have the gun back out and he would just be looking, kind of squinting the best he can to see in this very dim light, kind of like maybe kind of like in a 3-point stance, kind of just looking both ways down this tunnel.
I have to roll on
okay.
I forgot to roll on the Astra effects.
Go for it. You stay with Adept, right?
Yes. And so I get to roll 2. So either Astra surges through my nerves at unparalleled speeds and I take 2d8 force damage, or blood pounds in my ears and I'm deafened until the start of my next turn. So I'll take the deafened until start of the next turn. So I'm right after I get Rando healed, I am like totally just ears throbbing, and I cannot hear anything that he's saying. It's almost as if I just woke up from being unconscious.
And when this happens, you can't hear anything, but Nardo and Rando, you guys begin to hear just kind of skittering.
Can I roll intelligence on that?
Sure. What are you trying to find out?
I wonder if it's drones or something like that they sent down to find us.
Okay.
11 plus 4 for intelligence, 15.
It doesn't sound like a drone. It's too erratic. A drone would have kind of a pattern to it in how it sounds.
Okay.
And you see or you hear the sound just kind of coming from a part of the area that you can't see, just darkness. And it's just kind of a skittering sound.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. Andre, do you hear that?
We should move. We should go.
She's kind of like, what?
What? Yeah, like.
So Nardo would kind of grab her, kind of square her off to his face, and he would lean down into it, and he'd be like, go say very slowly, which way? And he would just kind of pull her along as we just, I mean, I guess we're going to go as fast as we can, but not so much that it becomes too precarious.
Okay. I need, as you guys start going, you are covered in this fluid. I need everyone to make a dexterity save for me. And put it in chat, please. Rando, you run along this thing on your tippy toes like a ballerina. And you are just sure-footed as anything. Philip is deaf, but he's slipping a little bit, but he's still okay. Nardo, you lose your footing and slide back into this fluid as your companions begin to move forward. But as you do, because you're not focusing on anything except you just fell and you're kind of closer to the ground, you see something strange kind of coming out of the shadows, and that stops. And after a time, the other two realize it as well. You see what looks to be kind of a rat-like creature. Its hair is matted. It's got those whiskers, but it is easily 7 or 8 times the size of a typical rat. Think Princess Bride ROUS's, except its hair is red, and it's just kind of matted, and it has 1 foot in that fluid and 1 foot out. You see one, and then you see another, and that stops, and you hear. Roll for initiative. Okay. Lionel, I need your roll. All right, Philip, you see this. Lionel has the gun. The other ones, by the way, you guys don't have your weapons. So, Philip, it's Andre's turn.
Yeah, and we said that Rando has the gun, right? Yeah.
Yep. No,
Nardo
has it.
Okay,
the guy
so
just slipped down into the stuff.
Perfect. I see this sewer rat, all red and matted. I know what's up because I have heard about these horrendous rats. I did not think they got this big though, and I'm just going to Astrobolt it right in the eyes. hopefully.
Go for it.
12. Does 12
12
hit?
hits.
Perfect. Take 1d8 force damage. 7 damage.
Okay. Where does it hit? What does it look like?
So this, I'm just flinging basically red Astra out of my hands, and it hits it not in the right in the face, but more on its shoulder, and it sears the red liquid, and then we smell it and we know, oh, this is just this smells like burning human flesh as it hits its thick fur, and also gets quite a good hit on its shoulder.
Okay, Nardo.
So Nardo would he'd slip a little bit as he's just scrambling because he sees this thing. He's never seen anything like this before. So there's that second of panic. And then he kind of remembers his training, and he gets up, kind of kneels, and just puts a bead on this thing and rips off two quick shots. And I'd like to also channel some red Astra in this and actually raise my Astra Fade to 3.
Okay.
And I can get the extra damage. All right. So that's a 17.
That hits.
Hit.
You guys are looking for 12, by the way.
Okay. So that's 9 of that force damage and 6 from the Astra.
So describe in these 2 shots what it looks like when you kill this thing.
So the first shot's a little off because he's still kind of steadying himself. So it hits this thing in its shoulder, and there's just this kind of spray of blood, like viscera and hair. And then the second shot hits it square in the head, and it just comes apart, and it just kind of skids to a stop and slides down and just starts floating, back towards the burner. And he would just kind of stand up and he'd say, "We got to move." Do I see other forms behind that one?
You see one more coming out of the darkness, and you still hear that as it's coming towards you.
So I imagine because I lost my footing and slid, the others are further behind me. So I would just move that little bit of movement I have left after getting up from prone to maybe get a defensive stance so that I'm protecting Andra and Rando.
Okay. Are you trying to move forward after you've gotten up?
Yes.
Then give me another dex save.
Yeah, and this is where I take a spill. Actually, this one's not so bad. 17.
That's fine. Then you can do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. The next one is actually going to be who's going to be the furthest ahead at this point, like the furthest in the front. Which one of you?
I imagine Andra is, just because she, or no. Yeah, Andra.
No. Yeah. Which one?
She sort of knows where we're going,
yeah.
So I would assume she would be leading
Andra's
us.
leading.
Right.
Perfect.
I'm just going to show you this. Hold on. I can't. There we go.
Great.
So this guy lunges at you. Okay? Lunges. And he actually falls on you and just bites into your neck, just and you are going to take, hold on, let me get my thing. You're going to take 12 points of piercing damage as this just oversized gross rat just bites into your neck as you fall prone and this thing is laying on top of you. Leonardo.
All right, so Nardo's still a little bit, Rando's still a little bit freaked out about these things. He's never seen these things and doesn't want to see them again. So I'm going to use a bonus action to throw a spheroid at Andra. And Andra, you can use a bonus action to heal yourself when you get a chance. And then I'm going to go ahead and move forward if I can and punch one of these things with my metal arm. Okay. And I got to roll for Astra Fade.
Give me a dex save.
Dex is 12 plus 2, so 14.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I'm gonna Astra Effect. Hold on. Hold that 1 on the Astra Effect so nothing happens.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna punch the crap out of this if I can. The closest one. What the one that's near Andra, actually. I'm gonna get him.
And I'm assuming that you're going to use that metal arm. So
yeah, I'm not sure how much you want to do for damage on that. I haven't.
1d4 with the metal arm is fine.
I'm gonna punch this. That's a 16 plus 1 for strength.
That hits.
1d4. And that's a 3 plus 1 4 damage.
Okay, awesome. So where do you punch him? Do you just get him in the face or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to punch him in the nose. I'm gonna go at him, maybe try to move Andra away from the thing and punch it in the nose and go, yeah, take that.
All right.
I'm panic, so my voice is a little bit like more like, yeah, take that, like that.
Andra,
get this thing off me. So I guess I need to roll grapple to get out of there. Or
we're gonna do opposing strength checks.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
12.
He is still on top of you, and you are there. That doesn't mean you can't do anything. It just means that you're still grappled.
And you can't cast spells when grappled. So
don't forget you can use a bonus action to heal yourself 1d8.
I will go ahead and use that bonus action to heal myself for 1d8. Thank you very much. Heals for 7. Boom. Thank you.
Okay. By the way, Leonardo, did you go slip dagger?
I did. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So if I would have won the other one, it would have been 2d6, I think.
Right. So just make sure you're remembering that if the creature's attention is on something else, you can use that sneak attack.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that would have been a sneak attack. You're right. That's
exactly. Right. So just for next time, that's
okay.
Fine. Next we're gonna go to Nardo.
Perfect. I need to roll on the Astra effects table. I actually exceed my Astra fade by 1, so I need to do that first.
Go for it.
I got a 2. The Astra stitches your wounds and mends any broken bones. Wow, that's actually really cool. But I don't have any injuries yet. So I must hear this behind me. This thing, is it another of these large kind of ratty things?
Yeah, a little bit smaller than the first one you saw, but same look.
All right, so this is what I'd like to do, Drake, and you can say yay or nay to this. So Nardo would just like to close the remaining distance between he and Andra, and I'd like to put the barrel of that gun on this thing that's or is not right on it, but fairly close to it, and I'm just going to shoot it, hoping I don't kill poor Andra because she's our ticket out of here.
As you try to move, give me a dex save.
All right. 10. So I'm going to slip and fall again.
Yep.
So I slip, and as I slip, like the gun goes off. So there's like this.
You can still try to make the shot with disadvantage.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll make it with disadvantage. Don't roll 1. Oh shit! Yeah, I'll miss. I got a 10, but that won't be enough to hit.
Okay, and again, since you are grappled, this thing is going to take another bite out of you, and it's going to go with advantage this time, and it's going to bite you again successfully on the other side, but you're only going to take 1 piercing damage. Rando.
All right. So this thing is still attached to Andra, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use another bonus action to drop another spheroid on Andra so that you can use it later. And I'm gonna Astra Fade, I guess, effects table. That's a 2. Let me find out what that is on the table.
That should be the healing one that he just got.
The Astra stitches your wounds and mends. Perfect, I need it. 1d4 hit points is 2, so I heal 2. And then I'm gonna go ahead and punch this thing with a sneak attack.
Okay.
That's a 19 plus 1 is 20. And I'm going to do 1d4 plus 2d6.
Do it.
All right, so that's 8 and another 6. That's 10 damage. Punch
so
it again.
Describe how you killed this thing. With with your bare fists, like in that one metal one.
So I'm gonna try to grab this thing from from the neck and the back, so I could pull it from Andra, and I'm gonna punch it once, twice, try to pull it off Andra, and then throw it to the side.
And you do so, and you pull it off, and it just kind of thumps down and just slowly slides into the water.
Right.
You are out of combat.
Andra's kind of like on the ground, like, oh fuck, is he gonna hit me next? Oh shit, what is going on? You guys are hitting me or the rat?
Yeah, Nardo's just gonna drag himself back up onto the edge, walking very slowly, because he doesn't want to slip and fall. That last time when he slipped and fell, he got a mouthful of that crap, and he's just still spitting it out.
Give me a con save.
All right, cool.
Don't give me ammo like that.
Oh no, it totally would make sense. My con save was a 15.
Okay, then you spit it out fast enough. It doesn't have any adverse effects. So you would, Andra, you would probably be able to hear things now. Okay. So what would you guys like to do? You have these kind of these two kind of carcasses of these giant, weird looking matted rats just kind of slowly sliding into the water because it isn't typical water. It's thicker, so they're kind of just going slowly into it. What would you guys like to do? Where'd you like to go? As you've moved forward, you can see another two things. Andra, where would you be going next?
Shit, guys, we gotta get ourselves to the shipping docks, but this tunnel system doesn't lead directly there. We're gonna have to go up and get into another tunnel system if we wanna get there. Maybe we can float all the way down to the incinerator, but the risk is too great that we'll be killed ourselves. So I think in these ones, if we can get maybe to the specimen storage labs, we can release some creatures or assets, create a distraction so we can get ourselves to the docks and get out of here. What do you guys think?
I mean, if you think the docks is the way out, are there any turrets on this facility? Can they take us down?
There's security and barracks, and there's security all the way between here and there. We have to distract them.
Okay, so if you give me a couple minutes, I can potentially try to see if I can eavesdrop on some of the communications. I just need some time to focus on my arc tool. Do we have time?
Okay.
I look around.
And Nardo would just say, can we do it while we're moving?
I mean, I could try. Is that something I can do? I can use the lock breaker.
I'm sorry. What do you want to do? I'm sorry.
I have the lock breaker ability, so you can use your arc tool to scan nearby astral pulses to eavesdrop on whisper link communication. And if I spend 1 minute concentrating, within a mile, I can scan pulses and listen to conversations. I want to see if we can avoid patrols and all that. And
sure.
Yeah. So can I do it while moving?
No, I think that you would need to actually sit there for a moment, and you could get to a wall or something and see if you hear something, but I think you would need to take some time.
Okay. If we can find a spot to sit down for about a minute or two, I can try to eavesdrop the communications and see if we can avoid some of the patrols.
We shouldn't do it in here. They know we're down here.
Right.
We gotta get up.
Let's do it.
Hold on. As you guys go down, you see the third ladder down says specimen storage labs, and you see a ladder going up.
All right. Who wants to go and take a peek and see if anyone's up there?
Rando, if you wanted to get to the top of this ladder and see if you heard anything with that lock breaker.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stealth myself out there to roll stealth.
And give me a technology roll once you get up there.
That's a good one. All right, here we go. 17 plus 7.
Okay.
So that's 24, right?
So you get up there, and you do hear a little bit of a whisper link communication, but you're coming up in the middle, basically, of what is the specimen storage labs. You even just from this grate, you hear the sounds of animals, dozens of animals, and you hear some humans speaking. But the only kind of whisperling communications that you hear are actually coming from outside, from the patrols that are outside of this room. And the only thing you hear is, keep your eyes peeled. They're somewhere here. Check the tunnels.
Okay. I go back down, and Nardo, I think they're onto us. They're looking at the tunnels. We need to move. I'm not sure how to proceed. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go up into the specimen storage lab and see if we can create a distraction from there.
So you think that if we make something happen there, then come back to the tunnels and continue on, or start moving through the complex?
Well, I think we'll have to move through the complex, and I think if this might not even be enough of a distraction, I think we should just go up and check it.
All right. Did I see anybody inside the specimen lab that's not a specimen?
Well, you're currently under this grate. You are not in it yet. So the only thing you can do is hear. You hear two distinct voices, one male, one female.
Okay.
And you hear him talking about the red Astra resistance on some of their experiments. But you hear monkey noises, you hear dog noises, you hear the growling of like a big cat. You just hear a lot of different animal noises.
Okay. There's a couple people up there, a man and a woman. They're talking about red Astra. I'm not sure if they're armed. We're gonna go up there. We gotta move quick.
Yeah, if only one of us were sneaky and adept at taking people out from a distance. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
How loud is that gun?
It's a rifle.
Oh, so it's pretty loud.
It's gonna be loud.
I'm not. All right. I can try to get up there and sneak around, and hopefully I get one of them. But you guys got to support me for the second one.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
All right, I'm going to. Let me check the. Yeah, let's. I'm going to go ahead and add a spheroid, so I get a 1d8 on the not on the skill check, but on the attack, the first attack.
Okay.
I'm gonna astrofade first. That's a 4. Let's see how bad that is.
Now, did you take the gun from? Did you take the gun from Nardo?
No, I don't think I'll. If I use that, it'll be loud as hell. So, so as soon as I create the spheroid, Astra roots me to the floor with intense gravity and reduces my movement speed to half until the start of the next turn. So you see this blue Astra just suddenly grounds me down goes into the floor as it builds around me.
So are you out of the grate at this point?
No, I was still down there. I was just gonna run the spheroid before I go up.
Okay.
So now I'm a little bit slower, but how long is the turn here?
Generally 6 seconds.
Okay, I'll wait 6 seconds and start moving up.
Okay.
So I'll start moving up and let me roll stealth. So that's a 19 plus. I don't think I have any stealth, man. I think it's 19 flat.
That's fine, man. You get up there and you notice that there's a bunch of crates and cages and stuff that you can actually kind of weave in and out of to find some cover.
All right, I'm looking.
And with that, you can get about 10 feet from the target without being seen.
And there's only one in here, or there's a second one here?
You see two in front of you. You see a male with his back to you,
mm-hmm.
and then a female like with her side to you, both looking down at a computer monitor.
Any of them armored?
No, they're both wearing lab coats.
Okay, no weapons on them?
Nope.
Maybe I should have brought the gun.
Not that you can see.
All right, so I'm gonna... Yeah, so I'm gonna look around and see what else do I see in the room besides the specimens. Is there any kind
You
of
see,
surveillance? The
you
door
see
is
two.
closed. Go ahead.
You see a door on the left and the door on the right. Um, just from how this place is structured, you know the door on the right leads out to the main hallway.
Hmm.
The door on the left just goes down to another lab. You see a gorilla, but the gorilla has red hair. It's very, very odd. You see, a few dogs that look like they're mutated, three legs on one side, one on the other, almost like a kind of like an amalgamation of different animals just kind of thrown together. Some just look like they're dead or dying. All have this red Astra kind of IV bag attached to them.
Okay.
And you actually see these two people laughing. They're actually looking at it, and you see on this screen pictures of that red ape kind of splayed out on a table, and they're just pointing and laughing. Apparently, it's funny. And the rest of it, though, like I said, there's a couple computer terminals. There's next to the terminals, you see some green cylinders next to each of these computers. You know these to be the information storage pieces, and that's next to each computer terminal. But the floor is just metal. Just kind of your standard lab stuff here.
Okay, so then looking at these two people, there are there any cameras in the room? That's the other thing I wanted to check. Two cameras
that you can see.
Do I see any terminals that I think would handle these cameras? Possible.
No. I think these would be handled by the security offices, security details.
What are they? Are they cameras pointing in the direction of the two people?
Yes.
Shit. All right. So maybe creating a commotion here is the best idea. Is there any way? I'm looking for the lock that would open this ape up.
There's really no lock. It's just a cage. You can open any of these cages. There's no locks on them. You just have to lift it up,
and run. All right, so let's do that. Yeah, let's open up this cage and attempt to remain stealthy doing it so the safe doesn't see me.
Okay. While you're doing that, Andra and Nardo, what are you guys doing?
So Nardo would be waiting like just below the grate on the ladder, waiting for maybe help. If hell breaks loose, he's just going to bust up there and try to help his friend. That's it.
What about Andra?
Andra's just going to be just going to look at Nardo. Fuck, Nardo. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it, man. What do we even do? How are we gonna stop this place? We gotta secure proof before we get out, or they're just gonna hunt us down anyway. Without proof, we can't be protected as witnesses to these atrocities.
Right. So military training totally kicking in for Nardo. He just looks down at her and he's like, listen, we're doing this step at a time. That's the mission. Get out of here. That's what we're going to do. As long as one of us gets out of here, then we can start spreading the word. That's what it's going to take. Remember what James said.
No one's going to believe one person. They'll all say we're crazy, or they'll get assassinated.
It's got to start somewhere.
If they have people like you.
And he wouldn't say it loud, but it would be like that forced whisper. It's got to start somewhere. Just shut the fuck up. You're worried about shit. We might not even fucking live. I'll worry about that later.
I don't care if
and he just like turns from her at that point.
Okay. Philip, what was the last thing you said? It was drowned out by Lionel's force.
Doesn't matter if any of us live or die. We gotta stop this. And if none of us live and we can still stop it, that's more important. Quit being so selfish. This is bigger than any of us.
And with that, you guys hear as Rando opens the cage to this red ape. And the ape looks at him. And it's almost as if the ape looks at you, Rando, and smiles. And looks towards those technicians and just makes a beeline for them instantly.
Hell yeah.
And that's where we take a 5-minute break.
Nice.
Sweet.
Intelligent apes. Super sweet. Astra infused intelligent apes. This is
Right
the
on,
guys.
Rando. That's awesome.
So yeah, guys, if you want to just do a quick kind of intro, and then I have to bio. So why don't we start with Philip? Tell us who you are and what you're playing.
Hey guys, my name's Philip. I am playing Andra Opal. She is, I guess, now a former employee of this company. And man, I'm just going to say, Drake, thanks so much. I love this campaign so much. It's so fun, so nerve-wracking.
Good. We'll go to Lionel.
Yeah, I'm Lionel. I am playing Nardo Rhodes, who used to be a collector for the agency, and now shit is hitting the fan, and he too is on the run. And I, Drake, am loving this. I love that we're like on the ropes this whole game. It's awesome.
Awesome. And finally, Leonardo.
So I am Leo Negron. I'm playing Rando Racine. His family does some work to create these things that we're trying to fix the problem with, and he tends to be not usually a frontline guy, but he's definitely getting different as shit goes down. He's learning that sometimes you got to stick your neck out for the right thing.
Yeah, you guys are all doing a great job with what I'm throwing out at you. So let's just take 5 or 10 minutes, whatever y'all need. Get a drink, do a bio, and we'll be back very soon. All right. Hey, everybody. Hopefully everybody's enjoying it. What else can I throw at these guys? Yeah.
I'm glad the ape didn't attack, that's for sure. I was really expecting him to just drop me.
How many hit points are you at now?
So right now I'm at 18.
Okay.
Started at 4. Went down to 0.
Well, what's a game if you're not a little bit scared of dying?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's great. I mean, most of the time, that's why Rando's been pretty worried. I mean, he's wounded. He fell from that ship. He's not at his best. He's been like, "Fuck, this hurts" all the time. So I mean, clearly, when you're wounded, you're probably even more scared.
Right.
Especially in a situation where there's really no escape. I don't think though at this point. Whatever dents we make, we're gonna probably sacrifice ourselves to hopefully get some of this evidence out. At least that's what Rando's thinking.
Right, I gotcha.
I'm hoping we find a communications hub and spit this out to some media of some sort.
Maybe.
Or ideally escape completely and happy ending.
Whew. Sorry, guys.
What, were you gone a long time?
Not a long time. Well, I dropped, and I think Lionel just dropped too.
Yeah, Lionel has 2.
Well, stop.
And 2 Phillips.
You never have too many Phillips, so that's okay.
Okay. But by the way, the little green kind of cylinders that I was telling you about, those are called glancers. Just to give you an idea, just for the playtest, glancers are small metal slabs veined with auriculum or something, which is minuscule amounts of green astra to display flickering spectral images. The images conjured by glances appear almost three-dimensional. Glancers can be found ship's helms. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's actually not what I was looking for. I'm sorry. Here we go. Lorium or lore vials. That's what I was looking for. Data in Harbinger is imprinted and stored in refined liquid green astra called lorium. Lorium is stored within glancers and ship's helms and can be downloaded into glass cylinders called lore vials. So you guys would be next to the computers would be those lore vials for you. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong thing. So
okay. Lionel playing Batman. Shut up. Do you bleed?
Yeah. Well, as soon as he gets back, we'll do that. So Philip and I had a little bit of a conversation about kind of a few things. You can go if you need to, Philip. It's not a big deal. About just kind of I basically told him, look, you're the guide. You're the one that grew up here. So where they go is up to you. Good luck.
Don't kill us.
And I gave him a list of about 10 things, 10 places. And I was like, take them wherever you want.
Nice.
So yeah.
It's going to be good.
Harry would have had fun. I'm sorry he couldn't be here. But we shall see.
What was his class? He was a trader too, a trader?
No, he was a Mancer.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, he would have been a good addition. But it's all right. He'll get the next one.
Yeah, a situation with no weapons, Mancers are legit.
Yeah. Well, honestly, doesn't mean you can improvise weapons.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Mancers do super damage. That's slip dagger though. That's nice, man. That's really nice for the
Normally, I wouldn't have allowed a sneak attack with your fists, but for the purposes of what we were doing, it's fine. I just kind of did
because an improvised weapon, I'm not proficient with it.
Yeah. Well, it's a hand. It's just armed, but it's perfectly fine. DM's choice on that one. So
yeah. But
anyway,
that's kind of cool. Not all characters are the same, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you also have a metal hand, so I'm assuming that's okay. Lionel, get off your phone call. We've had this scheduled for a month, Cupcake. I think. Hey, Philip, can you see Leo? Can you see him moving?
I can, yes.
Okay. I can't again, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I just can't see you.
I can relog on and put that overlay on too again. I think it's
Yeah,
when I go to the chat, it drops my overlay for some reason.
Yeah, if you want to do that,
I'll do that.
that way I can see you. And for the
Do you see
Oh
Drake?
yeah, the same thing. I was just wondering if it was on my end or not.
No, Drake just froze like this.
Do you see my overlay?
Yeah.
As soon as I go to the chat, it drops. It's weird.
Yeah, it's backwards
So,
now.
Oh,
here we
your
are,
overlay's
guys.
backwards for me?
It just totally wreaks havoc across all of the lab, and now we are running through the halls straight to the loading docks, and we get to the loading docks. Right, Drake? We're in the loading docks now.
Well then, we're actually on a ship. We already escaped.
Yeah. Actually, we took two ships.
ships.
We took 2 ships, so we improve our chances.
Exactly.
Oh, is that what happened in the 10 seconds I was gone?
Yeah, great, man.
Wow.
Good DMing, man. Good DMing. Good job.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those moments where they cut scene to another one.
Oh, I see.
Give me a moment, and I will happily get us back into this now that our buddy Lionel's back.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I got a
Moment.
call like literally just before I popped back in. So
You're fired.
So, do you guys see my overlay straight or backwards?
Fine. It looks good now.
It will last for 2
Good.
seconds.
So let me get out of mine. We should be good. Alrighty. So we are back. So when we were last there, Rando had opened the cage to this red-furred gorilla.
Good times.
It's your standard, full-size silverback gorilla, except that red and silver have that black hair is no longer there. So it's a pretty badass creature. And it just, you hear it as it gets closer. The technicians don't, or the scientists don't realize it, and just comes over and gets behind the male and just takes both arms and just absolutely crushes this guy, and he just crumbles. And you see the look on this blonde-haired female's face, and she begins to run towards the door out to the tunnel. And this thing takes a few, kind of gallops and just again slams down, and he's just using both hands and just pounding on her. And you can just hear the crunching and and she only cries or yells for a moment, and then there's silence. And the ape looks back, and it's almost, Rando, it almost looks like he winks at you, and then turns back and goes out, opens the door into the main hallway, and you just hear screaming and that kind of galloping sound. What would you guys like to do?
I go back to. I move back to the grate quickly.
Okay.
Nardo, Andra, I think we should probably get out of here and either go behind this thing or away from it. What do you guys think?
well, Nardo not knowing what the heck you did, but it was effective. Would climb up out through the grate and see.
There's a large ape roaming around. Killing everything it sees.
Because I was gonna say at first Nardo would probably think, "Holy shit, you are a brutal killer." Holy.
Piss me off.
But so I imagine her like outfit is like all bloodied from being palm. But could Andra throw on the outfit from the dude?
I stop you guys before you move into the view of the camera and point out.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Just before you're about to move, I pull you back and point out. Do we want to get rid of those first, or what's the?
Yeah. Is there any way you can hack into that?
I don't think I can do it from here. I'll need to be at the control center. Now they're all piped into the mainframe. So I don't think I'll do it from here. I mean, I can look at the computers, but the computers are being looked at by the computers, so by the cameras. So
right.
it'll be I
Is
can
there a
try.
way that we can get out of this room into the hallway as quickly as possible without? I mean, obviously we'll be in the camera, but
Yeah, you can.
Or-
You can. The door's open.
yeah,
The-
or I
you
could
can
shoot
take
or I
your
could take the
crown.
cameras out. What do you want to do?
I mean, there's a commotion out there. I think shooting the cameras out and continue moving is probably not a bad idea, but
Yeah, at least shoot the cameras. That way they don't know which way we go afterwards.
yeah, and
Right.
keep shooting them down as we move.
Andra
Right.
also wants to do a quick survey of the lab and see like what else what's here, you know, like maybe we should be letting some other creatures out too to create a bigger distraction.
And when we get a chance, let's look at the lab coats to see if there's any key cards we can steal.
Yeah,
So Philip,
okay.
tell me again what you were looking for.
I am looking for other creatures, but also I think Andras is really trying to look to see if there's any information devices so she can grab them. She's really trying to get proof of the atrocities that they commit.
Well, as I said earlier,
There are those storage ones.
right there.
I just wanted to make sure Andra saw them.
Yeah, they're called lore vials, just basically vials of green liquid Astra. That you see 3 terminals, and they're small, probably the size of like a beer can, and there's 2 of them at each of these terminals. So you see a total of 6. You also see a rack at the far end that has a dozen different coats, dozen different lab coats. Some of them do have some badges hanging on them. Probably not the best security thing, but some of the lab technicians just kind of leave it on there and put on the coat when they come in. But you see 2 or 3 of them. And again, just your typical lab stuff, notebooks, microscopes, everything.
Okay, so Andra wants to go and grab some of the vials, the lore vials, shove them in her pockets, and then head to the rack to grab a lab coat.
I'd say you can probably grab 3 of them. Is there any in particular that you want to grab, or?
I want to. Does it look like the computers are different stations, like they are for different?
No. It looks
I'll just
like
grab one from each then.
Okay.
Better half the data of each than none of the data.
Okay. You can absolutely do that. What the other 2 you like to do?
I'm just Nardo would just position himself by the door leading out into the hall, off to either side, then he might say quickly to Rando, check and see if there's any tech you can download. I think didn't you mention something about there were like data?
Yeah,
data tubes or something.
Yeah, Andra just grabbed 3 of them. He just grabbed 3 of the lore vials.
There are 3 left.
Shoot. Okay, so maybe having Rando grab the others.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab the others, and then if I can look at the computer systems real quick, is there any way I can hit root level and do any damage in the computer systems from here?
Give me a technology check.
All right. 13 plus 7, 20.
You can get in. You can gain access to this particular room, or excuse me, this particular area. You quickly kind of file through go through different files. You see, multiple folders with different experiments, different specimens. And from what you see and from what you're reading, it looks like they were trying to infuse the animals with different types of Astra. This particular lab handled red Astra, and it noticed that the skin or the fur or the scales took on a red color. They noticed that the aggression level with these specimens would just grow kind of exponentially with the infusion of this red Astra. Also, towards the later times, they were noticing that the intelligence of these creatures was getting increased through this red aster. So they were getting stronger, they were getting more aggressive, and they were getting smarter. And the last thing that you see in this file is basically that this particular line of experimentation was due to be stopped, that all these creatures were due to be killed because it just wasn't showing or coming up with the results that they were looking for.
All right, I'm going to pop one of the data tubes. Can I download that data into the data tube, all of it?
You can't do all of it, but if you, all that information is stored on the 6 data tubes that you guys already have.
Okay, good.
Or the lore vials, excuse me. Perfect. So yeah.
So anything else I can do from here that I can't damage main systems from here? Only lab stuff. Correct.
This is just connected to the lab. You don't have access to the rest. You need to go to the security office for that.
Got it. Nardo, I think all I can do here is work on this lab stuff. I can't hit root level from here. The firewalls are probably placed correctly. There's no way we can do this from here.
Cool. Nardo would kind of peek out into the hall, see what he can see, looking both ways.
You actually see splatters of blood and 2 or 3 guard bodies there. Just kind of right outside, probably 10 feet away. You see them. I mean, they are bloodied and gross. Their weapons are just kind of strewn out. These guards wear full head to toe gear, so you don't really see their face unless they take it off. But you see, and just kind of footprints of this ape you can still hear screams going way down there. But that's all you see as you go out, and several more cameras, obviously, down the hall.
Guys, grab the coats on our way out.
I got a big metal arm. Highly unlikely they won't see me, but sure.
There'd be that comical moment as Nardo pulls on one of these lab coats and it's like super tight and he like rips the back. But he does what he's told.
You guys can all absolutely find ones that fit.
Oh, okay.
That's
strike that. Puts on a lab coat.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna go ahead and search the 2 bodies lab coats and see if there's any cards or anything like that I can find.
There are key cards. You see one that says Amanda Miller, and one that says Ryan Rayford. Amanda Miller and Ryan Rayford.
I'm gonna grab both key cards. I'm gonna hand one of them to Andra and keep the other one for now.
Okay.
I think we should grab some of those guns and start moving down the corridor and dropping cameras.
Yeah, so asking Andra, which way?
Well, we need to hack into their security system so we can move about this place freely. So this way to the security office.
All right.
It's all order, but yeah, let's do it.
So as Nardo passes these guards in the hall, Drake, he would reach down and grab any weapons that they're laying there and toss them to Andra and to Rando. But also maybe do a quick pat down, like a field pat down on them. And if there's another key card or whatever, grab it.
So the most obvious weapon that you see, and again, you would know this from your time as a gatherer. You're familiar with weapons. You would find one worn, sawed-off flame tosser scattergun. You would find one revolver with energy cells. And the final thing that you find, just the guy who had the revolver kind of tucked out, as you kind of pat him down real quick, tucked kind of inside of his shirt pocket, you find a barrel-bladed dagger. There's no 2 of them don't have any security things on them, but the one that says Captain Smith on it, he does have a card in his pocket. What has his picture, his rank, and what you know to be cards that get you access to different areas of this station. So who would you give what to?
he would hand the pistol or the handgun to Andra. He would keep that nice sawed-off flame shooter for himself, and there'd be a nice smile on his face as he kind of picks it up, and like even like a yes, and he would give the I can't remember what it was called, the dagger,
the barrel-bladed dagger,
to Rando, and he would of course keep the scan badge for himself. We'd like tuck it in the pocket.
So are you guys familiar with what each of these mods do? Or would you like me to explain it just so you know?
Explain it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as the sawed-off flame tosser scattergun, it basically halves the range of the scattergun, Lionel.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get disadvantage if somebody's close.
Oh.
Okay. Also, once per every short or long rest, you can shoot flame out in a 15-foot cone that does 3d6 damage. Okay. But again, your range is halved.
That's okay. Nardo likes them up close and personal.
Yeah. As far as the revolver, it's your standard revolver, except it does shoot bolts of red Astra and does force damage instead of piercing damage. As far as the dagger goes, let me actually just pull it up for you just so I read it. It is just your standard dagger as far as that goes, but with the mods, give me 1 second. The barrow blade, this experimental necrotech mod allows the wielder to absorb the life force of fallen enemies. When wielding this weapon, if you deal the killing blow to an enemy that's not a construct or an undead, you immediately gain the number of hit points dictated by the creature's size. You regain 1d6 for small, 2d6 for medium, or 4d6 for large, and 8d6 for huge or larger.
All right.
Okay.
What about the other gun? Didn't you have a gun already, Nardo?
Yeah. He had a rifle with energy cells as well.
Yeah.
Is that
I would hand that over to you. Preferring the shorter, closer ranged scattergun.
All right.
Okay.
Got it. I am proficient with the scattergun, not with the rifle. Actually, I'm not. Is it a short scattergun or regular scattergun?
It's a regular scattergun.
Oh, never mind. I'm not proficient with it. Got it.
Okay. Again, feel free to give each other whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. So with that, you guys, again, just take a few seconds to do all this, and you hand out the weapons, and you guys know what they are, and you head, Andra, I would assume that you would lead them towards the security office. Where would they go?
So, yeah, basically we're trying to follow the wreckage of this ape. He was going towards the center where the security is housed. It's kind of the center of the facility. It's the most protected, and we're doing our best to like pretend to be lab assistants, and I want to be, as if I see anyone saying like, there's a creature on the loose, we need to get it, quick, hurry that way, and pointing them to the opposite direction that we're going.
Now that wouldn't be too hard for you, but the other lab technician that's holding a scattergun and the other one and a rifle may find that to be a little bit less convincing. So and even Rando would probably be more convincing, but I'm going to assume that Rando and Andra are going to be leading the way, and Nardo is just going to be kind of following, kind of trying to hold these weapons down at his sides, maybe, because he's not stupid, I hope, and he would do that.
He's not the smartest guy in the group, but
so you hear basically the tunnel forks. The carnage of this red ape goes off to the right as you follow the bloody footprints. But you know that the security office is off to the left. So would you follow the ape or go to the other way?
We head left.
Okay. Then you would come upon
Okay.
Good.
Oh, I was going to say, before we do, I want to kind of gather and say, okay, maybe we all need to stick together now, and we need to try to like sneak to the security office now.
Okay. You get to the end of this hallway. It doesn't go any further. It just kind of dead ends at this door. And it says security office B. And there's a little card scanner there and a camera just looking at you.
Nardo would step forward knowing that he has that captain's badge, and he would scan it.
Okay. And the door just goes open. In front of you, you see probably 20 different screens. And you see one man sitting at this kind of big desk, and just kind of they're kind of like a holographic. And he's kind of touching and swinging them over and moving. But he is not facing you. He says, "Hey, are you here for your shift?" But he's not looking at you. You just see the back of his head.
If I have a chance and the other guys are okay with it, I'm about to stab the crap out of this dude. I'm going to go ahead and grab his head and stab him on the neck real quick.
Okay, roll with advantage because
Okay. A 10 and an 11. So that's plus. I'm using strength, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. With the dagger.
No, dagger's dex.
Oh, even better. So that's 13.
So you do again. You do hit him. He's got nothing on his neck. So you plunge this dagger in with your sneak attack. He only has 12 hit points. Ooh. So describe what this looks like.
So I grab him by the hair if he has hair, or just pull him and just stab him right here. That was kind of loud. Sorry. Stab him right on the neck and let him go down slowly.
And what does it look like with this barrow blade dagger as you pull basically his spirit, his essence into yourself? What does it look like in his body?
So it looks like he instantly slumps and Blue Astra starts slowly coalescing into some form of siphon that comes out through the dagger and then goes around me and revitalizes me, and I breathe it in and it goes through my nostrils and just some of my wounds stitch up.
Awesome. And does the guy look any different when this happens? Does he shrivel up? Does he?
Yeah, it seems like he ages instantly. Like his face just gets dry, like he's dehydrated, and all the fluids in his body kind of that he just looks emancipated and thin, like his skin sticks to his bones.
You mean emaciated?
Emaciated, sorry. Yeah.
Freedom, yeah. So yeah, awesome. You get a point of inspiration for that one. So the door, as you all walk through, the door closes, and from here, you guys can see all of the main areas of this room.
Oh, how much did I heal? I'm sorry, Drake.
2d6. Roll for it, or I can roll for it.
Go for it.
That's going to be 7 hit points.
Cool.
So again, you look at the common areas, you look at the mess hall, you see the barracks, you see the specimen labs, but there's several that just are static. Obviously, those are the ones that you and/or the gorilla have taken out. And it's one thing you do notice, and I'm gonna say, Andra, you notice this first. You see the doctor, and you see the doctor in an area that you know. Well, what is it called where the assets bodies go? What is that place called, Andra?
Sorry, is that the specimen repository?
That is the asset repository. Yes.
Asset, yes.
And
yes.
You see the doctor standing over a table, Harry's character, and you see him kind of scanning James's body. And you can't hear anything, but you can see him talking to him, and you can see the body moving. And you see the doctor sit him up, and kind of help him. And you see his arm around his shoulders. And through the cameras, you can see him walking out with James. The doctor is wearing a lab coat, just like you. In that repository, you see a guard on the ground, unconscious. You don't know if he's dead or unconscious. But obviously, the doctor did this. And he begins walking out of this room with James's body very slowly. The other thing you see that is of consequence is that ape just trashing these tunnels. But you also see several guards standing there shooting, these bolts of energy at him. And there's several kind of standing their ground. And although he's done a ton of carnage, you can see he's about to get just taken down. The other camera that you notice is in the Spectre vault. And Andra, what do you know or what have you heard about the Spectre vault?
So, as far as I know, the Spectre vault is where they store all of the specters that before they get sold and become specters on ships or whatever. And that's likely where they have James, but not only James, personally to Andra, hopefully, likely, her father.
And you guys are in here. What would you like to do now that you're in? That's really the only thing you see of consequence other than people kind of rushing around going towards that ape and, alarms going off and stuff like that.
First, Andra wants to look at Rando and back at the body and at Rando and back at the body and at Rando. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Do you not think this guy has a family too? You're some fucking demon, man. You're just as bad.
So Rando is actually visibly shaken. He looks like this is not what he expected his dagger to do at all. And he's kind of looking at this person and looking down, holding this thing. This is what we have to do to get out of here. And just looks at her, and it looks like he's not there anymore. Like something is, like he's a different person. Something's changed recently, and you can't. And he just looks at you like, this is what we have to do, Andra. This is what you do. This is what you did to us. You brought us here. This is what we have to do. And then he looks at the computers, sheaths the daggers, and starts looking at the computers and working on them.
And Andra, how would you respond?
Fuck, man. You guys, you gotta stop thinking so small. This is so much bigger than us. Grow the fuck up. God, you can't go killing these innocent people. They're innocent just like you are. Just like you are.
I stop and slam my hands and say, nobody fucking here is innocent. Nobody is. Not you. Not me. He looks at Nardo. Nobody's innocent. We need to get out of here.
And what would Lionel? What would Nardo be doing as these two are bickering and yelling at each other?
Nardo is just posted by the door. He's closed it now. And as he's listening to them bickering, he agrees. He agrees totally with Rando. None of us are innocent. He's not doing this because he thinks he's better than anybody in this facility. He's doing this for the people that aren't in this facility, people that aren't part of AIC tech. He's doing this because people need to know. And he's willing and he's going to do anything. He doesn't say that to them, but he's just nodding his head. And then he would just kind of say, Andra, time for, and this is sensibilities is done. We got to do what we got to do to get out of here. Only if we get out of here can the people know? And they need to know. So if I have to fucking kill 5 or 10 more people, I'm going to fucking kill them. It's going to happen. If you can't do that, then you better fucking point us in the right direction, because Rando and I are. And he would just look at her, just give her that 1,000-yard stare, just waiting for her to say anything to countermand that.
You guys don't get it, man. You weren't brought up in this cult. You don't know what they've fed us our entire lives. It's not their fault. They think they're doing their jobs. They think they're doing good things. And here they are at work, and they get murdered for what? If we just go around murdering them, what message do we send?
Andre, you're right, sure, but ignorance does not mean you get off. We have a responsibility. I think Nardo understands that we have a responsibility, and we need to get this information. We need to get this out. So it doesn't matter what we fucking do for the next 2 hours. Accept it. Hold on to your panties. We're gonna get this handled, right?
And as you all kind of chill out a little bit, take a couple deep breaths, and kind of the weight of this situation begins to kind of hit all of you. You've gotten out of that cell. You've gotten weapons. None of you believe that you would make it this far. And now you sit with an emaciated, kind of mummified corpse in the security chair, seeing the doctor walking out with James. What would you guys like to do here? What was the purpose of coming to this office?
I'm going to be looking at the computers and then trying to get to a level where I can run some commands to drop the cameras. But I'm going to look at Andre and Nardo before I do it. Say, this, where we're dropping these cameras and then moving through, opening all doors and all that. What's the plan?
Sounds good to me. And I guess maybe that's the point, Drake, where Nardo would see that screen with Doc on it, Andor. And he would kind of take a couple of steps and point to it and say, Andra, where is that?
That's the prime asset repository. It looks like the doc knocked that guard out. We gotta help him. He's got James's body. Maybe we can put him back together.
So Nardo nods to you, Andra, but in his mind, what he's thinking is he's not thinking that. What he's thinking is this could be some of the evidence that they need. If we can get James off this moon, that with the other stuff we've collected, we might be able to convince people. But he just nods. He doesn't say that.
All right, so you need me to build a path to that location? I could potentially try to close all the doors, drop all the cameras, and ideally lock everything so nobody can get in the way if possible. Is that something I can do, Drake?
Yeah, you could. You can give me a technology roll, but don't forget that this is a pretty complicated thing. The only way to be sure is to use your one mechanist where you're guaranteed to pass a roll.
Okay. And that I can still use that then, because I used the last time and a day has not passed. Or we haven't had a short rest, have we?
Yeah. You got to sit in that cell, so you'll be all right.
Okay, good. Yeah, then I'm gonna go ahead and do it, definitely. Yeah.
Then tell me exactly what you're trying to do, and if anyone else would speak to him as far as a plan before he starts doing things.
So I'm gonna bring the map up, the overlay map, and I'm gonna find our location, and I'm gonna look at Nardo, who seems to have the more military experience, and say, hey, so this is where we're at. We got to get to here according to the map. Asset repository, prime asset repository. And do you think we should build a path from here to there where all doors are locked so they can't just ambush us, or what do you think?
Look, if we don't get the cube with James on it, all we have is a comatose body. That's no evidence. It's just a walking vegetable. We've seen those. We've seen Astra. Those, we need all the parts to prove that they were separated.
All right, so where's the cube at?
Yeah.
That
Can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
Would others know that James was collected for the Spectre program?
Would others know?
Others outside of the organization, like, would it have been knowledge? I know he's been ditching for a while, laying low before they finally caught him.
As a gatherer, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that it would be well, maybe in certain circles. It wouldn't be like common knowledge. Like the common man would not know that, but definitely in certain circles, both in the corporation and in the resistance, they would know. And so Nardo would say, the more we complicate this plan, the less likely we have for success. How likely is it, Andre? Now be honest here. How likely is it that we can reclaim that cube and get out of here? If we can get James, even in that state, to the resistance, that's our chance of success.
What if there were complications when he came out of cryogenic freezing and he didn't fully respond to his medicine? The company has the best lawyers across all of the Bastion moons. They're gonna weasel their way out. We need definitive proof, even if it's riskier. I didn't take you as a man to shy away from risk.
This is not about lawyers, though. We're going to rise the people up.
Can you make? So we have those data. We have those data tubes. This is beyond Nardo. You can see him. He's like thinking hard. Like he would go back to what Rando.
Look, I've lived it.
Of course.
I know this company. I know. I've seen I've been brainwashed. They have the ability to erase people's memories. They were going to erase my memory. I'm not going to let that happen. We're going to take these fuckers down, and that's what we need.
Yeah, but what are you thinking? That we're going to take them through due process? Fuck that. That's never going to work.
Sept Alzarine will step
Don't
in.
they already know that they separate the body for the Spectre program? That's not new. I don't know what we need to let people know is what they're doing. What they're doing with bodies. How come
James
that
has to
fucking
let them
move?
know.
It doesn't have a soul anymore.
That's right. We need the soul. The soul is the mouthpiece. The soul can say it was unwillingly separated from the husk of the body. The body can't say anything.
So the original question then, how easy is it to get this cube? Andra.
Nothing is ever easy.
God, you should be a lawyer for these people. Listen, where's the cube at?
It's in the Spectre vault.
Oh, fuck. You're fucking kidding me, right?
Maybe we can take out the security systems. I don't know.
Rando, with your sorry, I'm just kind of sitting back and enjoying this, guys. With your technology and with that guaranteed, I will allow you to do whatever you want in the security office as far as doors, security, cameras, whatever you want to do, you can do once. But make sure that you cover everything that you want to do in this action. because you're
Alright.
not getting a second chance.
Yep. All right, so if we're going to this specter vault, and we have to, let me get my plan straight. Hold on. We want to grab the cube, and we also want to grab James, correct? All right.
So we got this map laid out before us, Drake. So as I'm looking at this map, as Nardo's looking at this map, how is it laid out? Like where we got to go to get James and Doc, to where this spectre vault is, to where the takeoff point is. Is there any sort of symmetry to it, or are we talking like literally we're running back, zigzagging through this base? Because if we are, then Nardo is like going to be steadfast in saying, sticking to the mission of if we can get Doc and James, that's primary, and then getting to the bay.
The levels of this are rings. Okay. And like I said, this is like the hive from the Resident Evil, Raccoon City type stuff. So there's different levels. From this map, you can see that there are 17 levels in this facility. You are currently on level 7. The docks are on level 1. The Spectre Vault is on the same level that you are on, closest to the security office. The repository is just a few levels up. So from the map that you see, if you could get to the vault, then to the repository, maybe you could make it to the docks. That is what you see from this map. Andra could probably fill in better than that, but just from looking at a map, those are the basics.
All right, so we would have to timeline this correctly, guys. We have to move fast and furious, grab the cube, grab James, I guess, and then find a place to leave while at the same time dropping any security turrets or anything they have out there. I mean, I think I can do it, but we have to make sure we make it. We have to make sure we do this right.
Time, Randall. How much time do we have? After you drop the cameras, how much time will we have before they get them back up?
Drake?
I'd say it would take them a few minutes to figure it out. And if they just came back in here, they could probably get them up in a few minutes. So probably 5 to 6 minutes, unless you made it more complicated for them to get back into this room.
I do want to make it more complicated. Ideally, I would put a some kind of...
Shut down the waste disposal incinerator. Gum up the works. Give them a problem that if they don't solve it, they're going to have a biohazard issue on their hands.
Can I do that from here?
Yeah, you have access to all the systems on at least on this particular hive.
All right. What's the timeline then on that waste compactor destroying this place with us in it?
Oh, probably a solid 24 hours to destroy it. But if that was shut down, it would absolutely, well, it'd be the incinerator. It would absolutely be a priority.
Yeah, it would add time to their...
Yeah. So I'd say you probably got 30 minutes.
All right. I did, Andra, that's fucking genius. All right, so let's do that. Let's prioritize a route to these levels using, let's make sure one of the elevators prioritized for us. We're going to make these 3 key cards that we have priority. So we're going to go through these with our key cards. Nardo, you have the captain key card. So we'll make that the key card that opens every fucking door. And I'm going to attempt to plant a logic bomb on this thing. So when the first thing they try to do when they try to work on this is mess up, then they're going to try to hit the incinerator. That should give us roughly 30 minutes, if I understand this correctly.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. Have it so when they try to get cameras back up and unlock the doors, that's when it triggers the incinerator.
Yeah, that way we have time, because if we do it now, we're already subtracting time. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so with that guaranteed roll, you make all of this happen. So that is the plan. Where would you guys like to go first?
What was the closest one from here?
That's the Spectre Vault is the closest one.
Plan. That's where we're going. Fast and furious, killing everything on the way.
Are you guys still
killing nothing on the way?
I'm with you, Randall.
And just so you know, in the security offices, Rando, what is a larger weapon that you are proficient in?
Let's see. So I think one of the scatter guns I'm proficient in, the simple. So the three weapons I'm proficient in are handgun, short scatter gun, and short auto gun. Those are the three simple firearms that exist in the book.
Oh, yeah, short scatter. I got a short scatter gun. Why didn't you?
No, yours is a scatter gun, regular. With
Yours is a regular scatter gun.
It's just short because it's sawed off, right?
I thought the
There
sawed off
are-
made it short. I didn't know there was a difference.
The sawed off is a mod from what I understand, so I'm just going to leave it unless I'm told. Matt Click, if you watch this, let us know. But one thing that since this is a security office, there are weapons. There are there's a few blades, there's a few like firearms. But one thing, Rando, that you can grab that you are proficient in, you can get a short scatter gun that is not worn. It's just a short scatter gun, but it has the grapple caster mod. So you can use that one if you wanted to snag that.
I'll put mine back here, and unless somebody wants it, it's a regular rifle, and then grab the short scatter gun instead.
Okay.
1d10, nice.
Maybe Nardo would grab a melee weapon that he could use. If there was something like a great sword or something like that, or even just a smaller melee weapon, just so if things got up in close.
I'd say something like just like a regular blade, like a 1d8 blade, like a long sword. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you would grab one of those.
And yeah, you guys are good to go. If you would like to leave, you have done all your technology and made your plan. If you would like to head towards the Spectre Vault, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab a handgun on the way out, and before they leave, make sure that the guy or the security guard's eyes are closed.
Okay.
I was going to eat him. No, I'm kidding.
You had already had a revolver with the energy cells, Andra.
Yeah, revolver is not. I'm not proficient with revolver, but a handgun I am.
Oh, okay, no problem. And that one too is going to have the energy cells in it. Okay. So okay,
I would grab the revolver. I think we should give the revolver to Nardo as a sidearm.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that.
Yep.
So you guys are all geared up and ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So as you go out, the security door closes behind you, and you go probably 100 feet kind of in a curve, and you get to the door that says Spectre Vault. You use that captain's card, and it goes in. And the room that you go into is really hard to describe. This room is cold. I mean, deep, deep cold. There's kind of, have like liquid nitrogen kind of makes that foggy smoke. But as you step in and the door closes behind you, that blue astra just emanates from everything. You are in awe from the amount of cubes that you see. You see thousands, just wall to wall, 20 feet high, probably 200 feet long, and several shelves, several stacks or racks of them. And you see them all pulsing in unison, all kind of connected. You don't hear anything other than that kind of slow pulse, that kind of energy pulse. You do see, and they don't see you, one technician in a lab coat, but wearing kind of, think like head to toe, some type of thing to keep them warm. And you see them walking with a cube. You recognize that this is most likely the most recent addition. And this technician is walking to the far end and places this cube in an open spot at the far end on your left. What would you guys like to do?
I don't know if anybody's gonna do anything. But I think we should grab this guy and not stab him in the neck, but grab this guy and threaten him and make sure that we're grabbing the right cube. If nobody's gonna do anything, I'm gonna move in and grab him slowly from behind and put my dagger up to his neck.
So this tech is quite a ways away though, because you said they were all the way down. Yeah,
he's a solid 200 feet. He would hear you coming.
Right. So maybe it would make sense for us to hold our weapons behind us so that not see him, so we just see the lab coats and just walk towards him. And when we get up close, that's when I pull out the sawed-off scattered gun, and we can kind of negotiate with him and hopefully not kill him for Andra's sake.
Okay, so you can absolutely do that. From a distance in this kind of low light, the technician really wouldn't know. And you get up to him as he puts the cube in the thing, and you hear it gets connected, like it's starting to charge up. It kind of clicks in place and powers up, and then after a second, it starts to blink in unison with the thousands of other cubes that are stored here. And the technician turns and can I help you?
The guns come out from Nardo and I think Rando. So and it's just like I think we're gonna negotiate something here.
I negotiate. I don't have anything. Just a technician.
And Nardo would kind of look at Andra and say, well,
listen, just do what they say. These guys are fucking nuts, man. How do we get that cube?
How do you get the cube?
We need to take it. Can you disconnect it for us?
No. Why would I disconnect it for lab technicians with guns? You're gonna get thrown in a cell. What is wrong with you guys? You know you can't just take these things. You all work for the company.
We're taking it, and we need to make sure that the data isn't lost or corrupted. So these guys, and I point to both of them, these guys have already killed plenty of people in this facility, and they won't mind killing you. But I'm able to convince them to not kill you as long as you take the cube out for us.
Take it where? For what?
Why does that matter?
Because it's my job, because it's my life, because I'm the one that they'll blame. Because I'll be the one. Sure, you may do whatever you want to do, but I'm the one that's going to get probably killed. Why would I just let you take it?
Look, I grew up in this scrap heap just like you did, and I've been fed the same lines of bullshit that you have. Look at me. I've seen some shit, man. I know what happens in the Spectre program. Look at these hundreds of lives. Thousands of lives. I don't think you can feel good about, and as he's like looking, as I am trying to show him, I want to wham, hit him upside the back of the head.
And as you say, but before you do that, as you say, look at all these thousands of lives, he goes, thousands of lives. I'm just worried about one life, this one right here. And as he says that, yeah. And he's just kind of just falls down, and you guys are standing over him in a mess on the floor.
Shit, Rando, can you try to disconnect this cube?
Yeah. I'm gonna walk forward and look at this thing and try to figure it out somehow.
Give me a technology roll.
All right. That's the 5 plus 7. That's 12.
You're looking. It looks relatively familiar, as your family kind of helped develop this technology. You're not 100% sure, but you think if you just push here and here, it'll pop out.
Am I pretty confident of that, or?
You got a 50-50 shot.
Let's do it.
Okay, roll me a d20.
All right, here we go. Roll the 13. What do I add?
Nothing. You anything over a 10 worked, so you got it. It just kind of. So you are now holding this, and it looks familiar. Each of these cubes has slightly different markings on it. They're not all identical. They all kind of glow in unison, but they're all slightly different. And this is the cube that you guys saw next to James. This is the one that you saw in that lab as he was digitized. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything else, but you are now holding it.
All right, we're wasting time. Let's get out of here.
Wait. Can we?
You're going to talk to it too and tell it that there's millions of lives here?
We gotta. There's at least one more I think we have to save.
You fucking tell me this now?
Look, it's my dad.
Oh, well, you could have told me at the
just
goddamn office. Let's go find him. Come on. Is there a terminal here that I can look at to find names?
Is there a terminal or something that she could?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's grab that terminal. I give the cube over to Andra. Here, you grab James. What's your dad's name?
Timothy Opal.
Okay. Can I look at what do I have to roll?
This is a tough one, man. I'd say 15. 15 on technology.
Oh, technology. Okay. I'm going to.
It was over 20 years ago.
I'm going to use inspiration because I rolled a 7. That doesn't
Okay.
do it. That's 14. I'm going to inspiration. I rolled a 2, so that's even worse. So 14 is my highest.
So you keep looking, and there you don't see the name. Only specters that have not yet been put into vessels are here. Having not found it, you can only assume that your father's specter was at one time already put into a vessel. How would that?
I can't find it.
How would you respond to that? Just with that realization that your father's cube is not here.
I think Andra was trying to deny the entire time that was the case, but deep down knew that was very likely the case. And, she's sitting there, her face expressionless, but tears coming out of her eyes. And she just looks at Rando. Fuck.
I'm
Thanks
so sorry.
for-
I'm so sorry.
Well, we just gotta take these fuckers down. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys head out. Where are you heading to next?
We're looking for the body now, right?
Looking for.
Yeah, we're looking to
Doc.
intercept Doc.
Yeah.
Andor.
So as you guys come out of the vault, you've been here a few minutes. You actually hear an alarm sound, and you see red lights flashing. Just kind of the rah, rah, rah. Andra, you know that this is a security breach alarm, and due to Rando's virus that he installed, this only lasts for about a minute, and then you hear a different alarm, and you see this kind of yellow thing, and you know that this is a biohazard alarm. And
Rando, it worked.
And you see all the red lights that were on all these cameras at the same time shut off, showing that they are not connected. And as you go up through, Andra, you lead them going up through the repository is a little bit further up, up on the thing, but you go through the repository, and where you saw the doctor and walking with James's body, he's not there. he's not. I mean, this has been 20 minutes ago. So where would you guys like? You're probably on level 4 or level 3. You know that the shipping dock is level 1.
So the body's not here, you said?
It's not there. But the one thing that you do is when you go into this thing, because I'm assuming that you guys would try to go into the repository just to make sure, you see this guard with his throat slit, and the blood that has come out of his throat is actually frozen to the ground now because it's so cold. And again, you see this room that is probably 10 times the size of the Spectre Vault, and you see thousands of these cryotubes, thousands of bodies just stacked one on top of the other as far as the eye can see. This is where apparently all of the prime assets are stored. And there is a terminal here too.
Let's do it then. Let's walk onto the terminal and figure it out.
What are you trying to find out?
We're trying to find out what the fate of the body was then. Let's look at his name. I mean, all I got is James, I guess. I don't have a last name, right?
Now, is there a way... Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead, Lionel.
Now, is there a way for him to get this data and put it on on a lore vial?
There is a lore vial, 2 lore vials actually next to this computer.
So Nardo would say that, what's on those lore vials, and if you find anything on that thing, any chance you can put it on and you could use it as evidence.
Yeah, let me go ahead and look at the lore vials. So I'm going to find out what's in the lore vials real quick.
Okay. Roll me a 10 or above. This is pretty easy.
9 + 7.
Okay. So you find that this is basically a spreadsheet of names, locations, next of kin, and some of them show vessel that they were assigned to.
I'm going to look for Timothy Opal. As soon as I realize that there could be a vessel, I'm going to look for Timothy Opal. I'm going to stop looking for James and look for Timothy.
You find it. And you see Timothy Opal was assigned to the was AIC, which is the company that creates specters, to their flagship 10 years ago. And Andre, you would know this. What is the name of the flagship for the company? What is their highest technology, strongest ship?
Continuing with the Daedalus, that was our ship's name. This ship is Kronos.
And this asset, there are also graphs for each of these people, what these specters were proficient in, how fast they processed. And there was not a single specter ranked higher than Timothy Opal, hence putting him on the Kronos. What else would you like to know, Rando?
I look at Andra. Andra, I think I found him. I downloaded the information to that tube, and I point at the tube, and then I go over and start looking for James if I can. All I have is James. I don't know what all the information I can try to use to get him.
Well, you actually had his last name. It was actually Pierce, but
okay, good. So I'll look for him.
You find him as the last entry, and it just says awaiting cryostasis. It doesn't appear from this information that he has been put into stasis yet. That would make sense given that you saw the doc walking out with him.
Andra, where would they put people in cryostasis at? What's the room? Because I think that's where he's at right now. Prepping him for cryostasis for James.
This is the cryostasis room.
Where the fuck is he?
He escaped with the doc. They
Rando,
left.
Yeah.
All right. Let's yeah, we need to get out of here then. I grabbed the tubes, give one to Andra. This is where your father is.
Andra takes the lore vial in her hand and just holds it close to her chest and is crying and says, "Thank you. Thank you, Rando.
We'll get him, Andra. Don't worry
You're
about it.
not a demon."
Well, I mean, we're all demons here, man. We're all demons here. Let's go.
Yeah, and as we're heading out, Nardo would grab Rando by the shoulder and pull him in close, and he would just say, "I don't care what they said about you, man. You're no fucking coward. One of the bravest men I've ever met." And that would be all he would say. Is he kind of like would walk past you, and we're moving on.
Rando just looks like he's in another state, like he's, as in the original person he was, is no longer himself, and he's just coming to grips with this new person he is, and he's not sure if he likes it.
Okay.
But he nods when you say that.
I'm assuming you guys would head out.
Yeah.
Andra, which direction would you take them now?
Well, I think the doctor probably knows his way around a little bit, but probably doesn't know that we have tried to clear a path all the way up. So he logically would have just gone to the next level up, which unfortunately is the barracks.
Okay. And you guys do so, but still wearing these coats. No one really pays you any mind. They're all rushing around. You hear people going, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" Just really, if as long as you guys don't bring attention to yourselves, the dozens of people that passed you and guards just walk by. Actually, most of them run by. But you get up through the barracks, up to the next level. You're probably one level below the shipping docks now. And you can even hear the sound of those engines roaring and taking off and landing as it kind of reverberates in these upper levels. These are more like maintenance levels right now. No one wants to be this close to that. And Andra, you would know that there's several different ways to get to the shipping docks. You can go, normal tunnels, or you can take some of the maintenance shafts. Which way would you take them?
Well, maybe the doc would have tried to go through the maintenance shafts if he was trying to stealthily go through there. So I think that's the way we should go. Hopefully we find him there.
Okay. Would you two agree?
Yeah, Andra knows to her shit. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and as
Nardo would definitely nod his head.
And as you guys kind of get to this main shaft, you do have to climb a ladder. And as you kind of get up, you realize that you're coming up through like a back end of this. It's kind of like a spaceport. It's a shipping dock, but different ships are kind of porting. There's probably a dozen different ships, some small, some large. It's kind of a hustle and bustle. These ships are trying to get out. These ships are trying to leave. This alarm keeps going off, this biohazard alarm. You can see them quickly, throwing crates and, munitions and everything else. Only about a third of these are AIC ships. There's other ones that are around. Again, small, small ships, or all the way up to these huge, several 100 feet long. So what would you be looking for? What would you be going for? What is your plan?
Andra, Nardo, what do you guys think? Nardo, you have more experience in this. What do you think? A small ship would go through these ranks, or something bigger to pretend we're in charge, or what are we grabbing?
Yeah, I think the smaller ship makes the most sense. If we have to overtake a crew, it'll be that much easier. Also, it looks like a lot of activities happening here, so we better chance of us slipping off.
let's try to check the ship manifests and see if Andor has signed out any of these travel pods for whatever reason.
We also want to make sure, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't want to grab an AIC ship because I'm sure they have a transponder or something they can find us. That sound right to you, Andra?
Absolutely. They'll likely find us no matter what ship we take, though.
That's probably true. Well, I can probably help with that, but we'll try. We'll figure it out.
And
let's look for some form of terminal to find a manifest for ships if possible.
And maybe Nardo would be trying to keep a sharp eye, looking to see if he can see the dock.
give me a perception roll with advantage.
$24.
Then I'd say that you absolutely see the dock. About 3/4 of the way across these docks, you see that white lab coat, and you see that James is with him, and you're the only one who sees this. But you see that James is now wearing, it looks like the uniform of a guard, but you see him kind of stumbling. His legs are not there, and you still see him with his arm across the doctor. You see the doctor get stopped by several guards for a few seconds, but you just keeps seeing him shaking his head as he's going towards what you look to be one of the smaller ships. And as the kind of the back end of it is extended, you see him walk up that kind of ramp into the back of the ship. No one seems to be stopping him. And then suddenly you see somebody roll down that ramp, and you just kind of in a thud. What would you say to your companions?
Very quickly, Nardo would turn to Andra, and I'm assuming Rando is already starting to work at this terminal trying to get these manifests. And he'd say, "Dock's right there." And he would point over there to the ship, and he goes, "We got to move. Rando, forget that shit. We got to go." And he would kind of start to bustle Andra in that direction. Because you said it was quite a ways across this hangar.
Several hundred feet.
Yeah. So he would do it at not a run, but it would definitely be a brisk walk, trying to not look too conspicuous, especially where there's guards kind of moving around.
Okay.
Rando, if I have some time real quick, if I have time at all, at the manifest, I want to look at the ship he's trying to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Did you point at the ship, Nardo?
Yeah, I certainly did. Yeah.
So I'm going to find out in the manifest real quick what ship that is. I want to find the stats.
Okay. That is a small merchant vessel. Its cargo is said to be rations, basically just basic food rations. It dropped off, according to the manifest, one asset, and it is scheduled in payment to get 2,000 rations. But you can see that, according to the manifest, the rations have not yet been loaded, but the asset has already been removed.
All right. Is there any way I can delay the move out process for the ship? Can I put the clamps on for like a minute, 60 seconds?
Sure.
All right. I'll clamp it up for 60 seconds so we can start running that way.
Okay.
I finish that and run over towards Nardo and start brisk walking beside them.
Okay.
And I say that ship is on lockdown for 1 minute. We're gonna get there fast.
Right. As we start moving closer, Drake, what can we tell about the figure that rolled down the ramp?
Only that it's not moving.
Is it dressed in a white lab coat?
No.
Okay.
It's looking. It looks kind of like peasant clothes, kind of like it's a pilot or something. He has goggles on his head. Mm-hmm. Some of the merchants find that stylish nowadays, and but yeah, he doesn't look like the Doc or like James.
All right. All right. So that would make Nardo want to move even further, because if Doc took this guy out and the body just rolls down, one of these guards is likely to see it. So, so maybe the pace would get brisker, kind of like a trot now.
And as you guys got about 20 feet from that ramp, you would hear, "Halt! Who goes there? What are you doing? You weren't supposed to be on the docks." And you turn around and 2 guards are standing there, probably 20 feet away from you, with their hand held out. Just let me see your cards. Let me see your clearance. Why are you out here? And they still haven't picked up on the guy that rolled down the ramp. You guys are standing between him and them. What would you like to do?
We heard there was a bioreaction, something with the incinerator. I don't know. We were sent to go and check out the exhaust ports and see if any were clogged.
And they both just kind of look at each other. Does that make sense to you? The other one says, "I guess. I mean, they're wearing lab coats, right?" Give me a performance check, Andra.
Okay. 5.
They look at you kind of quizzically, like, "Okay, but you're still not supposed to be up here." And I just need to see something. Hold on. With a 22 perception roll, as they're looking at you, they spot the body, and they both aim their guns. Both of them holding rifles with energy cells in them. It says, "You stay right there."
Do I notice that they just spotted the bodies, basically the body? Basically?
Yes. You could see as soon as they see it, their face changes and they pull their guns up.
I'm gonna look at the body and pretend that I didn't know I was there too, and go, "Holy shit, we need to help this man."
Yeah,
I can heal him. I say.
Yeah, Nardo would put his hands up the minute their guns go up to show that he does, and he would do kind of that same thing. He'd be like, and step aside.
Both of you give me performance checks. Actually, Leonardo, you give me performance check.
What's that, wisdom?
No, that's charisma.
Even better. Oh, not even better. Never mind. 14.
Well,
14.
no, that's not bad. I wanted you to get a 13. So
nice.
Their facial, these aren't the sharpest knives in the drawer. Kind of like Nardo. They're just kind of like, body. Okay. Okay. And I assume that you would like kneel down next to him.
Yes.
And these guys would kind of look and go, "Well, what should we do?"
Go get help. I'm not sure if my ass was going to be enough. Go get a medic quickly.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, and they just both,
Sweet.
just run away as this body is there. Well played, by the way, Leo. You get a point of inspiration for that. That was not how I saw that going.
Man,
so
your feet. The guy's just 18. Does that count?
So they run away. Trying to get you a medic. What would the 3 of you like to do?
Nardo's going to quickly grab the body and drag it back up the ramp. Okay. And I guess he would yell out, Andor, you in here.
And you would see the doctor sitting in the pilot seat, James's body kind of laying on kind of a bunk behind him to the right. He would just turn, and he wouldn't say anything. He would just nod. And then he would motion everybody to come in. And just as you were on there, he would close that ramp up. And at this point, that 60 seconds has passed, and he begins to throttle up the engines and begin to head out. Now, it is several hundred feet to get out of this thing. And over the radio, all of you hear Vessel 4B Charlie. Launch is not authorized. Please return to docking port. I repeat, launch not authorized. And you see in this port, these kind of doors begin to go like this. And you see, like on this kind of glancer video, it's kind of like a hologram. You can see this guard standing there. And you can see him kind of talking into a microphone. I repeat, if you do not come back, you will be shot down. Do not attempt to leave the station. And the doors are closing. They're only about 5 feet open now. And what would you guys say?
Well, who wants to take this? Am I taking this? All right. So I'm gonna grab the mic and say, like, look, this place has environmental problems. We're getting out of here. We will orbit around. Let us know when we can dock back in. We are not staying in here if you have environmental issues. I see the klaxons. I've seen this before. No way I'm staying here. Over. Can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second. What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. So he comes back. The biohazard has been fixed. You can return now. There is no reason at all to be scared. And then you guys notice another figure behind that guard. Andra, you see David, that guard that you knew from your childhood. And you see David take out a small kind of dagger, bayonet, and you see him run it across this guard's throat. And he says, "You have 2 minutes. Get out. Just get out." And you see him hitting some buttons and that door opening. But part of this hologram, very quickly, after about 30 seconds of this opening, you have enough space to get out. But in this hologram, you see all of a sudden David's face just, and his eyes get wide. And you see a hole squarely in his chest. And he looks at you, and the last thing he says, "I am not a coward." And he falls. And you guys can get clear. Outside, you notice it's raining. These red clouds have kind of coalesced, and you can see it on the front kind of window of the cockpit. And it's raining red crimson. It almost looks like it's raining blood. What would you be thinking, guys? What would you be?
Shit. Guys, a lot of innocent people, a lot of guilty people. Doesn't matter. A lot of people lost their lives, and what we're going to do with this information is prevent unnecessary death for thousands and thousands of people. Good work, all of you.
And with that, you hear, "Stolen vessel, come back to the station or you will be shot down. I repeat, turn around immediately or you will be shot down. You have a prime asset on board. You will not be allowed to leave the system.
Let's look at the capabilities of this ship. What can this thing do?
This is just a small merchant vessel. There are no weapons. There are no
evasive.
It's not even that fast. You're only probably 50 or 60 feet off the ground. It can't even. It'll take a little while. You probably could get it into orbit, but it would take some time. And you're having some trouble seeing as this red kind of crimson rain continues to fall as it kind of sticks to your windshield a little bit.
What's the skill to drive this thing?
Yeah, Nardo's gonna ask the doc who's sitting in the pilot seat. He's gonna say, "Do you know how to fly this bucket?"
He would nod.
All right. Is there like some navigator seat nearby?
Yeah, he can definitely use a co-pilot.
Right. So definitely Nardo would sit down. He's got some skill, especially flying smaller craft and navigating on smaller craft. So he would immediately get to plotting. I say, keep it low until we can maybe kind of how does this work? So do the engines have to like warm up to a certain speed? Like what's the fastest this thing can go? I know you said it doesn't go very fast, but
it could, yeah. You need to be going probably for about another 10 minutes before you can get the speed up to get out of the atmosphere.
All right.
It's difficult to get. Once you're out of gravity, you're fine.
Yeah. So so that's what Nardo would be doing. He would be doing the plotting for Doc as he's piloting, so that we can stay low and avoid crashing into any kind of obstacle.
And as that's happening, you hear woo 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 on the back, and you look on kind of the console, and you see a red dot moving. You can only imagine this is like radar or something. You see this red dot coming from behind you, and it's getting closer and closer. It says impact 5, 4.
Does this thing have any shaft or anything like that? Shaft or
Nothing.
anything
2,
I can do to the radar
1.
to never mind.
You got the stick. No.
Ouch.
And the back end of this thing is torn off, just, and you guys begin to go down. Just you hear the wind rushing. I'm assuming that you guys are all strapped in, and just after probably 10 seconds, just and just again crashing into the ground. Again, you're all okay, but something strange. You begin to hear something. You begin to hear something in like static in the whisper links that you've all had from before. And up above, you see a ship coming. You see a ship that seems to be coming directly at you from ahead, but coming from the opposite direction than the station. Through the back of this thing being ripped off and just destroyed, you also see a ship probably only 200 feet away that has shot this missile that has forced you down. And you just hear that kind of the, and then you hear this. Johns, you there? What the hell are you doing out here? Erys Moon Station vessel. This is the transport ship Charon. Discontinue pursuit. This is our crew member. I repeat, our crew member. Shit! All right, guys, we bought you some time. We're coming down there, Johnson. Just give us a minute. Open the hatch. Let them in. I don't care how many people are there. We're not leaving him again. We don't have much time. We're going to be coming back. Jesus, Johns. How did you survive? Let's get the hell out of here. And as all of you, and as all of you kind of shuffle in and take off, the Charon has engaged its, lack of a better phrase, hyperdrive. You all sit on this ship that you began this journey on, with this cube, with all of your lore vials, and with the body of James. And that is where we end the session.
Whew.
Wow, that was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was so good.
Awesome.
Whew.
Oh, jeez.
We accomplish impossible things, guys. Damn.
Oh my gosh.
We started off real rough, though. Those
Yeah, we
dice
did.
were
Yeah.
painful.
Man.
But oh my gosh, that was great.
David saved us.
I know, right? That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Either.
That
I was
totally,
like,
oh, man.
we done. Wow, that's good.
Can you guys hear me?
We can now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
That's awesome, man. Pretty good.
3/4 of that I didn't. David, I was just like, who's David? Why not? We got to kill somebody. It's one of my games.
You almost killed me, man.
No, that dude, it's so funny to me. Like, that was so much different than I had imagined in my head. And God, you guys fucking killed it, man. God, it was great to watch you guys.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we did good.
You're
Now,
great
tell me
DM,
this.
Drake. That was so fun.
Dude, like I told you, great players make a good DM. Great. So thank you for that. It has very little to do with me. But tell me this. So about the session, give me some feedback, guys. What did you like? What did you not like? What? Just like I do, I always like to ask.
I like that you incorporated some of the new stuff in the V.2 playtest that allowed us to, so we have that. What I also like too is I like that you really challenged us to have to think outside the box. I mean, this is not your standard. I mean, we really had to get creative, and it wasn't easy. I mean, you made us have to earn everything, and it felt really great. I love that feeling. It was awesome.
I was hoping and I was planning that those two guards stopping you, I wanted you to use the flame tosser.
I was going to.
I was thinking this thing. I was like, man, I'm gonna steal this from him.
That would have been.
I was actually going to try to lead him up the ramp and then deal with him there, so that we wouldn't have any more witnesses. And I was just going to freaking, But then freaking Leo, man, went all smart on us and freaking told us.
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
Next time I'll let you shoot. That was cool.
Yeah, that was.
Lionel, was there anything that just felt weird to you, or is everything pretty okay?
Weird.
Well, any constructive criticism.
I know what you meant. No, so the only thing that was a little difficult for me was like being in such that impossible position. It's like the getting past that. Well, why would this guy really do that? And that's why I was like, man, I got to freaking attack Andra, because there's no other way we're going to do this. Yeah. Maybe if I attack her, they'll come in. And
that's a good idea, actually.
Well, that's the point. Simple solutions are boring to me.
Yeah.
Philip and I were having this conversation yesterday. I like putting you in no-win situations. It's the damn, what's it in Star Trek?
The Kobayashi Maru.
The Kobayashi
Maru. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I want every freaking scene to be that and to see what good players do,
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
that was genius idea, man. That was great. Grabbing Andra, locking her down. That's great.
If you didn't do that, I was going to pretend to just like go crazy and start shooting Astra everywhere to see if they'd come in and take us down. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't know what you guys were going to do.
I had no idea what to do either, man. I'm glad Nardo grabbed that, man, because I was like, man, I know shit.
What about you, Leo? Any really favorite parts or constructive criticism?
I think one of the strengths of sci-fi, I think, I love the tech stuff, right? Like I love when we talk about tech and when we're figuring stuff out. And I love that you kept it vague enough that we don't have to get into the weeds, but good enough that it matters, that a tech roll is more than just like, all right, roll this roll and hope. That you asked us, hey, what do you want to do? What exactly are you doing with this roll, with this thing? Like, I think that's important to any game, because you don't want to get into the weeds and just bore everybody, but you do want to be able to make sure it matters. Because I know the problem with tech rolls, for me anyways, that it always feels like, oh, it's just a way to get out of the problem. And you made it so that we had to think, like we have to go, hey, we do want to go here. Do we really want to go there? And we have so many objectives too, man. And we have to grab the cube. Do we want to grab the cube? I think you did a great job in making us prioritize and force ourselves to increase risk to attempt to get this. Because we could just grab the cube or just the body and leave. You know, it was pretty good, man. It was great.
Yeah, you could have. Absolutely. And I'm actually going to show you guys the promo for the next session, but I want to hear from Philip.
Man, it was fun, like knowing the places that we could go, and then like, you know, boom, specimen lab, great distraction, which got us into the security center, which allowed us to escape. Like it felt like we were in a heist movie where just like we didn't necessarily know what our next step was, but it felt like a very natural progression.
Well, you did that. Like I'm saying, you had the all I did was just play off of you. It was that was, like I said, you did that. You killed it the first game. This game, you were the tour guide. And I think you did an excellent job. I mean, everybody did an excellent job. The RP in this game was phenomenal. And
it was back and forth. It was awesome.
And you know, you have those games where it just fits, and you guys did great. I'm really sorry that Harry wasn't there, but I tried to bring him back and have a place. You know,
I actually really liked that too. I thought it was great that he was doing stuff while we were doing stuff, and that's genius. You know, man. We met. We were able to seamlessly meet back with him.
I thought at that like 6:30 this morning. I'm like, what am I going to do with Harry? He's not going to be in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me show you guys the thing for the next.
Ooh, yeah.
Beautiful. So that will be the promo for the next one.
Nice. Injection.
So a little bit of red.
I saw a new name on there.
Do you? Oh, Jeff. Why isn't Jeff? What the fuck am I thinking?
He's in all your games, man.
He's
just an honorary player.
You got your perception roll, man. I did not see that.
apparently, I removed Harry because he was
nice. In a fit of rage, you were like, you know what?
All right, guys. I'm going to stop the broadcast here in a minute, but guys, if anybody who's watching, thank you. We've had a few people watching on and off. I know on a Sunday morning we're not going to get a lot of viewers, but you guys, all of you, did a great job. I'm so lucky to have good players. I mean, great players. The RP was the highest that I've seen in any game. So all of you did an amazing job. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And we will see what happens in volume 3. I don't know if I can finish this in 3 volumes, guys.
That's okay.
Hey, we're not. Yeah, nobody's
twist
complaining.
my arm, man. I'll play
nobody's
it for
complaining. We can do 15 of these.
All right. Yeah, but I don't know if I can emotionally do that.
Oh, man.
All right. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop. So thanks, guys, for watching. We'll be right back.